the I'm a Fan of podcast, music, comedy, and more.
Chris J. Norwood,
Yes,
welcome
sir.
to the show.
I'm so happy to be here.
Here he is, ready or not.
Here I am. That's
He
right.
is not cool, neither am I.
I'm
First of all, you
that's
just
for
said
sure.
something. You said, I'm aware of my voice. What do you mean by that?
I know what I sound like.
What do you think you sound like?
I'm
I'm very not self-aware, so I like to
Okay.
hear other people's self-awareness.
I sound good. I enjoy my voice. I think it sounds great in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always enjoy it when I'm listening to it back. I produce a lot of my own stuff, and one of my biggest headaches is trying to edit and produce my own vocals.
Yeah.
And I'm aware that my voice is not everybody's cup of tea
Okay.
for whatever reason,
That's
okay.
Yeah, that's a tough thing for a lead singer to feel, right?
Yeah, because your voice is a personal thing.
Yeah.
I can practice, I can get better, but no matter how hard I practice, I'm not going to sound like Sam Cooke
Yeah.
or Otis
Yeah.
Redding
Yeah.
or I'm only going to sound like me.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to come to terms with.
Yeah, but you've been doing this a long time now, because I was
Yeah.
re-looking at your stuff back all the way. Your first EP was 2011, right?
Yeah.
2011, man.
Yeah.
First of all, does it feel like 15 years have gone by?
It does not.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah, it does not.
I was thinking about it. I was like, man, what was my first ever crossing paths with you, not on a personal level, but just the music? And I really think, and you tell me if it rings a bell, but I think I watched a show with you. Do you remember a rock band that was around for a hot minute named the Van Sanchez? It's Alexis Sanchez, who now plays with Charlie Crockett. He had a little solo thing. It was they did it for maybe a year or two, but I think you were on a show with them at Three Links. Do you typically play kind of bigger hollow body guitars, electric
Yes.
guitars?
Yeah.
And
Whoa, that sounds really familiar.
long time ago.
Yes.
Yes. And all the bands that were on that show, I don't think are together anymore. It's
Yeah.
it's that long ago. But I couldn't remember what year that was. It had to have been something like 2016, 17, 18, maybe something like that. Even
Maybe before
but-
then even.
But I was
Wow.
it had me just thinking about. So so that was your first EP. How long have you been playing around this scene?
We moved here in 2011. Pretty much since then.
Wow, yeah. So you've seen a lot come and go.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel about the scene then versus now? I mean, you've stuck it through this whole time, and these people have come in for a minute and now they're out.
Yeah, staying power, I guess.
Yeah.
You stick around and it's gone through ups and downs. Dallas went through a thing where there'd be kind of a hot band for a couple years, and then they'd move to Nashville or LA, and then there'd kind of be nobody, and then there'd be another hot band for a couple years, and then same kind of thing would happen. And then COVID happened, and then Central Track kind of folded.
Yeah.
Not folded, but they kind of stopped doing their thing.
Yeah.
And then the Observer fired all their music critics. And then there was a void there for a while where it felt like no scene at all.
Yeah.
But now it's slowly starting to kind of come back. I still don't fully have a handle on it, just in terms of venues and where the hot places to play are. It was always Deep Ellum for a long time, and then it wasn't. And but even still, it's I'm not sure. I don't quite have a handle on where people are going to see shows.
100% feel the same way. I mean, I've lived here my whole life, not in Dallas proper, but we've always driven into areas like Deep Ellum to watch shows since I was 16.
Right.
And you see it go through its waves.
Right.
But right now, I literally, this band Mojo Hand, they
Yeah.
were just on the show, and I just went down to watch their show last Sunday. And
Where did they play?
They played Ruins.
So what time? They do early start times, right?
I think it was a little earlier because they were headlining, and
Okay.
I've got family, so I'm not at the
Yeah.
point where I can go watch the opener anymore. So I was like, okay, what time are y'all going on? And I think they were scheduled to go on at 9. So I was like, perfect. I'll get the kids down, get out.
That
It'll
is
be
perfect.
great.
Yeah, that is perfect.
And I got there at 9:00, and they were already halfway through their set as a headliner.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so it is a little earlier, maybe because it was a Sunday, but also
I think that's the thing that Ruins. They typically start
okay.
at 6 or 7.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
And I don't know why.
It was nice. The sound was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a shittier little dive crap hole bar. Only because past experiences when you go in and there's crazy spray paint and stuff, you're thinking like, I don't know that this place is going to care a lot about the sound guy.
Yeah.
You know, but
No, I
sound
know.
was great.
That's cool.
Service, like everybody it was a cool venue. I'd love to go back, but I felt so bad for them because they're getting screwed by the construction on Commerce right now. And I was talking to the really nice door guy. I don't remember their name. And he was explaining that Dallas is essentially replacing sewer pipes and electrical lines. And it's been happening now for, I think, like 2 years or something. It's been going on for a long time, maybe more. And he said that they have until 2027 to get it completed.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, like, we're talking about some pipes and wires. That takes years. I could understand a year, 6 months. Like, let's shut it down on strategic weekends and gut the whole thing. Let's do it. I couldn't believe that you would block your businesses.
Deep Ellum's had a hard time.
Traffic like that.
Yeah, they've had a real hard time, and especially like long-standing places like St. Pete's on Commerce.
Where's St. Pete's at? Why do I not know that?
It's right next to. What is it next to? I don't remember. It's just kind of right there in the middle.
Is it closer to?
Commerce.
Okay, so it's not near Good Latimer, and it's not all the way down at the very end. Down
no,
by
it's closer to
Double
Good
Wide.
Latimer than the other side.
Okay.
It's maybe a block or two down from like Cane Rosso or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But even Cane Rosso and those places are just they're having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
The city really kind of
Places that have been staples.
staples.
Yeah.
St. Pete's has been there since the 90s, I think.
Wow, I can't believe that's gone under my radar. But I'm not, super Deep Ellum in tune with everything.
Man, I my first job here in Dallas was at a studio in Deep Ellum, and I started in 2009, and I was down there every day up until 3 or 4 years ago.
What was the name of the studio?
It's called Breed Music.
Okay.
We did music for commercials, so it wasn't like it wasn't like an open studio. It was
So you were writing music for commercials?
yeah.
Were you like a session player for that?
Yes, and I also I was like a composer for.
Oh,
So
okay.
usually the way that works is like I would compose a full track, like top
Mm-hmm.
to bottom, and they had 3 or 4 different staff composers.
This is making a lot of sense with your guitar playing.
Yeah,
Because I've noticed, I was going back through your back catalog, and first of all, I think you're a good guitar player. I love listening to your
thank you,
playing.
man. I appreciate
especially
that.
like the arrangements you did for your acoustic version of your new single,
Thanks,
American
yeah.
Healthcare Blues.
thank you.
And I was like, okay, he can play, and but that makes sense now that you were actually playing that much for a living.
Yeah,
That you just you have to be good at it because you've got not only you don't have the luxury of time to be like, okay, I can work on this for 6 months.
no, with ad
Yeah.
music, man, like turnarounds like a day sometimes. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So it's their 30-second tracks, right? But
Yeah.
still, it's a day, top to bottom, fully produced kind of thing.
Did you go into a job like that out of necessity, or were you excited about it, or how do you get into a gig like that?
I lucked into it, to be honest with you. I was with a band, kind of a performance group kind of thing, like a stage show kind of thing out of college. And I did that for a couple years and traveled all over the country. And then I was getting married and just needed to get off the road. And I just kind of blanketed the city with anything and everything having to do with music or theater, tech stuff, sound, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a studio in Deep Ellum called The Listening Chair at the time. And they were needing a studio man. They weren't even looking for a studio manager. I just sent them my resume, and they emailed back and were like, "Hey, we're thinking about replacing our studio manager. Why don't you come in and interview?" And I did, and just happened to get the job.
Wow.
And then that Listening Chair turned into Breed Music, and I was with Breed up until 2023.
Holy cow! So that was very long.
Yeah,
So you must have
14
enjoyed
years.
it.
I did enjoy it. They
Yeah.
took good care of their employees.
But a lot of artists are too, like, I wouldn't do that. That's soul crushing and it's not real. But
Well,
you're
they're
still,
not-
but you're playing
They're
music.
not entirely wrong.
Yeah, but you still are getting paid to be in an artistic thing, and I mean,
100%,
you're
yeah.
creating stuff. You
100%,
can't,
yeah.
like
It's-
that
well-
annoys me the same way as like when I waited tables. It's like
Yeah.
it's not usually someone's dream job.
No.
But it doesn't mean we can't have fun while we work here
Exactly.
and enjoy this
Yeah.
phase and this job. I don't know, like it was still fun,
Yeah.
like working, making money. We got people we enjoy working with. So I always hate it when people they find that negative in it, for no
Yeah.
reason. But well,
Yeah, I mean, they're
so
like
you said 2009 to 2023?
yeah, 2023-ish.
Wow.
Yeah, I was there a long time,
That's
and
pretty,
I still do that. That's still kind of my main bread
Yeah.
and butter kind of thing.
wow.
But like, it's a double-edged sword. Like, at the end of the day, a job's a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got to make money to support my family, but there are a million worse ways I could make a living.
Well, how much I mean, how much sharper do you think your playing and writing is because you're playing and writing every day? You're working that muscle nonstop.
Yeah. So the thing that it helped is it, especially with like songwriting, it lowers the bar. And what I mean by that is you can take, you know, if you spend too long trying to perfect something, you don't know where to stop or how to stop. But like I was saying with ad music, man, you got to turn things around. So you can't be too precious with your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta get it out, and you gotta trust your gut that this is sounding good.
Yeah.
Which again can be a double-edged sword, right? Like you have to. It's about building that taste and trusting your gut, knowing this is good enough to put out, or this still needs work.
How long were you in that until you understood that? Where, you know, because at first you're probably
A while.
thinking, oh, I mean, is it
Yeah.
months, years?
It was probably a couple years before I.
Yeah.
And to truth be told, as I still feel some days like this isn't good enough, or some days where I'm like, this is awesome, let's put it out. You know, so it's just,
Yeah, but over a decade, you at least know what is going to be worth a client's money and
For
like
sure.
the ethical right. Like this is definitely going to work.
Yeah.
Even if you feel like it's not stellar. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, but wow, that's fascinating, man. So you've been paying your bills with music.
Yeah, I'm very
That's
lucky.
so much more than
Yeah.
so many people never get to do that.
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Wow.
Very lucky.
What did you do before that? You said you moved here in around 2009-10, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, straight out of college.
Where was college though?
College was in Abilene at Hardin
Oh, okay.
Simmons.
So Texas still.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
I've been in, and I grew up in Rockwall, so I've,
Oh, okay. So you're from here.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. What'd you study in school?
Music.
Music? Oh,
Yeah.
God, man. Okay, so it's all adding up.
Honestly, there's like nothing else that I'm qualified to do. Like if I broke my hands or something, or like went blind or deaf, or like there's nothing I could do to like.
At this point, that's just a new challenge for you, though. You would just figure
Yeah, I
it
guess,
out.
yeah.
Have you seen this guy, Steel Beans? Do you know who I'm
No.
talking about? I'll have
No,
to
I
send it
don't.
to you.
Yeah.
He's a dude who plays guitar, but he plays drums and singing while he's doing it. But it's not like the typical like I've got a drum on my back or on
Yeah.
the floor. It's a full drum kit in front of him. So
Wow.
he's holding a stick in a hand, strumming, singing, playing. And I think at first it was probably a like a post-COVID kind of a gimmicky, like,
Yeah.
let me put out some fun content. And then he started getting really good at it. And then I think he's been opening up shows for big acts like Tenacious D and people
That's
like
wild.
that. Yeah, I mean, and now it's gotten to the point where it doesn't feel like a gimmick in any way. It just feels like a guy making music this way.
Yeah,
you know, it's like the first time you saw the White Stripes or somebody where you're like, oh, just two members. Is it?
Right.
Oh, this is a marketing thing, and then they stick around. You're like, no, it's
There's something to it,
It's
yeah.
a cool thing. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
there's something to it.
Yeah, and so you know, if you lost your arms and your hands and your eyes, you'd probably figure it out.
Some
You'd find a
way,
way to
yeah.
make some music.
Yeah, some way.
I don't remember the name. God, I wish I could. No arms, and is making music on like a drum machine using like nose, tongue,
Whoa.
just like like fast. And it's real strange at first because
Yeah.
you're watching somebody like hitting buttons with a tongue. So that's just kind of strange.
A little bit.
But they're making, you know, like live beats and stuff happen. And you're like,
That's pretty cool.
I hate watching that stuff because I'm like, man, what's my excuse? You know, what am I? Why?
It's never too late to start, man. That's the beautiful thing
Yeah,
about music.
and
is,
wow. So yeah, you'd figure it out, man. You'd do something with it. I did have a question though. Why 2 EPs?
Mm-hmm.
Right back in 2011, and then I don't remember the year after that for the second EP.
2015 probably.
Are there albums that aren't released through there that I'm not seeing? Because then it was like single, and then in like 2024 we've got Knockdown Dragout. I know you had your solo stuff, but
So my solo stuff, there were 2 EPs,
Yeah.
and then a couple singles, and then I put out 2 albums on State Fair Records.
yeah, that was I'm Not Cool.
I'm Not Cool, and then before that was called Long Shot.
Yeah, but when did Long Shot come out?
2015.
So that's a big gap from. It was like 4 or 5 years, really, right?
Yeah, it's I've averaged about an album every 3 years ish.
Okay. Is that timeline just a process you like, or is there a reason behind that? Or?
No, I could do a lot quicker if money, you know, were could factor. You know, if I had more money to do it,
Yeah,
money
yeah.
and time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've got my album ready. I've had it written for almost a year now.
The next one, is it for solo or is it for Knockdown Dragout?
Dragout, yeah.
Yeah, you got the next one ready to go.
I do. I have it 100% written, pretty much. But you know, I may add things here or there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just finding the time and the money.
Yeah. Well, and especially with with the Knockdown Dragout, how many members are we talking?
It depends on the gig and depends on the song, but we've played anywhere from 5 to 10 or 11.
10 piece?
Yeah.
So when you record though, how much do you want? Do you want the 10 piece?
As much as I can, yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets expensive as much as
Yeah.
I can afford it, yeah.
How long did this album take? Because did you get close to the 10 piece on this?
We did.
Because you got 11 songs.
Yeah. So the core of the band is, me on guitar, bass, drums, keys, 2 singers, and 4 horn players.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the songs has some strings, and that album also had a percussion player on it.
Do y'all get to go in as a full band, or do you have to track separately because it's
that
so big?
band? I was really intentional about wanting to do it as a band, like as a core band. So we went into Audio Dallas in Garland, and we tracked 11 songs, the basics of it in 3 days. So
Ooh, you were moving.
Yeah, we were a couple 3-4 songs a day. So it was me on guitar, keys player, percussion, drums, and bass all tracked together on the floor, staring at it, looking at each other. We did those 11 songs in 3 days. And then I went back and tracked the vocals at my place later. And then after that, we went back to Audio Dallas for the horns and the strings.
Did you like that process?
I did.
Yeah.
It's so much fun tracking all at once as a band.
Would you want the horns there with you for the first run, or do you like to get that knocked out?
I liked, I recorded them separate after the fact. 1, just because of studio space.
Yeah.
And then 2, because I wanted to give Preston, the sax player who did all the horn arrangements, I wanted him to hear kind of fleshed out, so he would know how to arrange with the rhythm section and then also the vocals.
So you didn't get to rehearse much of this with them before it was recorded?
I rehearsed the rhythm section.
I mean the horns.
The horns, no.
Yeah.
Preston did all the arrangements, and then he would shoot them over to me, and I didn't really give him much critique because they were awesome.
Horn players are on another level.
Oh my God.
Of musical understanding.
It
They're like, what do you think? And you're like, yeah.
It's perfect, yeah.
I can't give you notes.
Yeah. There was one song where we made some changes day of in the studio. But other than that, it was just little things here or there. But it was he did great, and the horn players were amazing.
Yeah.
It was so fun to work on them. And the string players too. Like we had, like I said, one song. There's a little string section on it.
Real string players.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you just always assume that's like a keyboard or something nowadays.
No,
Because
yeah.
the cost, the time. It's hard to find really skilled players to give you the time of day in recording sessions unless you really got some money for them.
Oh yeah, and string players especially, like their time and their money is they take that seriously, as they should, right?
And as a guitar player, I just feel stupid around somebody who plays strings. I feel like you're just smarter at music.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
They're like, what do you want? And I'm like, something good? I don't know. Like,
a lot
just
of them
do
will let
whatever.
you know they're smarter than music too. Yeah. I love string players.
Yeah, well, I mean, just any of those instruments that have been around, for so long, piano, strings.
Yeah.
There's just something when someone's really good at that, it just connects with you on a really visceral level,
For sure.
Like it's not an instrument, but like I'm not even a football fan, but did you watch the national anthem of the latest Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Charlie Puth?
Yeah.
It's like some people just hit it.
Oh,
And
he was
you like
great.
feel it and you're just like,
That was great.
I'm like real patriotic now. But that's one of, again, like
I
those
feel it.
instruments, that's one of those songs where just it's the way it's written, the way it crescendos, everything's just, when somebody really nails it, it just hits you on a level that you can't explain.
Yeah.
It'd be at a baseball game or something.
Oh, I know.
And
well,
it's-
I read an interview in Rolling Stone with Charlie Puth, and he's right. He said it's the most difficult song to sing and perform, and it just is.
it's been, I mean, how many people have you seen fail at it?
It's so easy. Yeah,
And you're just like, oh.
because you could start too high or start too low. There's any number of ways that it can go bad.
Did you see in the last presidential election, they held there's some group wanted to hold a debate for the independent candidates that weren't getting much shine. And there was a woman, a recording artist, and she went out to do the national anthem at the third party debates.
Yeah.
And she messed up horribly.
Ooh.
And she went to go, I think it was on Rocket's Red Glare, where it starts getting real hard.
Yeah.
And she cracked or something, but in the middle of doing it, she goes, oh my God, I fucked up. Oh my God, I
Oh
fucked up.
my gosh.
Can we start over? And you just hear someone in the background go, we're live. And she's like, starts singing again. She's like, I'm so sorry. I just got so nervous. And then keeps singing. You're like,
Oh, what a train wreck.
And it's like, you seem like such a nice person. You probably can sing. This is just a brutal song and moment. And I'm like,
that is
so bad. I mean, it's one of the greatest clips, not to like make fun of the person, but it's just, like, I don't think I'll ever see a failure of a national anthem quite like that.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
Ask to start over and then be like, no,
Yeah.
or it's happening right now.
Yeah. I've never been asked, but if I were, I would have to think long and hard about saying yes.
Buddy, I mean, I know you're professional. I know you do it for a living, but just like this, even when you're a good singer, it feels like that's not good enough for that song.
For sure.
You know, because like, do you think of the list of the best ones you've ever heard?
I mean, Whitney Houston obviously is
there you
number
go.
one.
Right.
Chris Stapleton did a really good
great version
that I really liked.
See, and that's the hard part, right? Because if you're not a Whitney Houston type singer,
right,
if you can't just command it with your voice, you've got to make like your version.
And he did, yeah.
But then that's its own experimental risk. Because like Flea for Red Hot Chili Peppers, he also made like a unique bass one. And it's like,
okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're Flea, you're great. It's fine. But like,
cool, yeah.
I don't know that bass is ever really going to capture the national anthem.
No, and it shouldn't, yeah.
And so, I thought Stapleton's version was incredible because of that. It's like, okay, he made it his own.
Yeah.
He still was able to keep it like pretty traditional, and he still had some really strong vocal chops in it. But he knows, like, I'm not going to hit Whitney Houston notes.
And that's the key, is to just go out and sing it. Like, you know what I mean? Don't try to flower it up with, runs and all that. So especially if you can't do that.
Right.
Just sing it, sing the melody, and then...
What would your version be? Now that we're talking about it, how would you, if I was like, hey,
I never
man,
even thought.
we'll start small. It's like, hey, dude, the Cowboys want you to come out.
Small.
Well, it's not Super Bowl, but it's like the Cowboys want you to come out on,
sure.
Like the second game of the season. Not even the opener.
Sure, yeah.
Right? It's the second one. They're playing a team that nobody's
Maybe a
really...
preseason game.
Yeah, we'll do preseason. Yeah. But it's going to be televised.
But of course.
But
right.
what would your version be? How would you approach it?
Something simple.
You're holding the guitar, right?
Yeah, something with an acoustic guitar and simple. Simple is always better. Like I said, go out there. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Holding a guitar so at least I can, get my pitch, right?
I got a shield.
Exactly.
I got my comfort thing here.
And if it starts going south, I can pretend like the guitar is out of tune, and just start tuning.
You can shake your head and look at the guitar like, oh, God, I'm so sorry, everyone.
So that would be my version, yeah.
So the acoustic, that's an interesting choice, though, because do you play most on your acoustic, like when you're at home? Is that that's like the go-to, huh? Do you write most of your songs on acoustic first?
Depends on the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about with the day job work? You usually going for the electric or the acoustic?
The day job work is so different because each song is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could be doing indie rock one day, hip hop the next, film score, like trailer stuff the next, so it's so different. It changes so often. So it just depends on what's needed.
Okay. What is your go-to guitar at this point? The one that in your house that you just love?
My number one right now is that one right there on the back.
Yeah.
It's a Candy Apple Red 335, and it's called an Orville by Gibson. So in the 80s in Japan, there was these guitar makers that licensed the name from Gibson. Orville Gibson was the man's name. Mm-hmm. And so they built what they're called Orville by Gibson guitars. So they're essentially American parts, just assembled in Japan. So the build quality is...
I was going to say, that sounds really good.
Yeah, the build quality is as good or better than any American Gibson from that era.
Mm-hmm. Where did you get it from?
eBay. Yeah.
Wow.
It's been kind of like my dream guitar to have a Cherry Red 335 for a while, and I just found it. And you can get good deals on the Orvilles.
Okay.
They're hard to find. They don't come up often. But when they do, they're, like I said, the build quality is as good or better for a fraction of the price of what any American Gibson from that era. So that's a 1990 or 88-ish.
Yeah.
88 or 89.
I mean, I wish so many things were made in America, but Japanese people really do make things just
Better.
so
Yeah, it's
good,
just better.
man.
The attention to detail is just
Well, it's a culture shift, right? Like if I'm going to do something, I want to do it well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I love. I had a Toyota Tacoma up until recently; it was stolen, but the ones that are made in Japan, same thing. It's just they're just better.
Yeah.
Just the doors shut tighter. It's harder to describe. You know?
Yeah, and there's a reason why like those Toyotas and the Hondas just they last forever and ever.
Well, I saw you had a Subaru, Japanese car.
I have a Subaru.
Same thing, man, and it's going to run forever. You know, what was it about the 335? Why was that the guitar?
I don't know. Maybe it was because I was a Back to the Future fan
Yeah.
growing up. That was probably.
Have you seen all
If I'm being
the
honest.
super nerds where they're like that guitar wasn't even made yet? Like,
Yeah, and they're not wrong. Yeah, it was.
yeah.
It was like a year or two too early. But
What hit me way late about that movie was how much Huey Lewis, was involved with all of that, and like,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize he was the guy at the talent show and all that kind of stuff. And
I don't think I realized that either.
he's the guy who's like, "You're just too darn loud."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's him. And so now watching it as an adult, you're like, "Oh my god!" And his music when I was younger, like it seemed so cheesy. And then it's like the older I got, maybe I'm just getting cheesy, but now you start going like, what a great songwriter, actually.
Great
His songs
songwriter.
are great.
They're so great.
And some of the progressions he wrote for songs that were popular hits is pretty wild,
Yeah.
and just choices with where bridges and things come in and how it's like, God, you don't have that kind of writing in popular music right now.
Not much. Yeah. And
Yeah.
his band was amazing too. Like a lot of people don't realize it was his.
The News.
Yeah. A lot of those members were on Elvis Costello's first record.
Oh, wow.
They're just incredible
Well,
players.
that explains, yeah. And then that same movie, like all the cool music stuff in that movie, it's like Michael J. Fox actually wanting to learn to play the solos and the stuff. So it was real instead of me mimicking this track. And I can't remember which guitar player. There was some 80s guitar player where they're like off camera and he's
I
showing
think
them
I've heard
licks.
that, yeah.
I can't remember. But there's like actual video footage of him like, no, so do it kind of
just-
this
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And it's like, God, man, just the music nerd stuff in that movie is so much fun.
It's a lot. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. It's a classic, obviously. So it's.
So
But
when did you finally get the 335 off eBay? Was that recent or was that a while
Yeah,
back?
I mean, a handful of years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're
So that's
beautiful.
my number one. I've got a handful, but yeah, that's the number one right now.
Mhm.
I mean, who knows what will be in a couple of years? I'm sure I'll get a new one, and I'm always looking. But
Yeah, my wife for my birthday bought me just a beautiful Telecaster that I love, and it's like the nicest one I've ever owned. I've always had like $200 made in Mexico guitars,
Yeah.
and they're fine. Those are fine.
Sure.
Those are great.
Yeah.
But I've realized like I don't know how to play on nice things now. You know what I mean? There's such a different feel. Everything I've ever played has been a little worn in, and it's chipped enough so you don't care,
Right.
and it can bump around, and you're not bothered. And this one, I'm very, you're nervous about playing it. And
I was with that one for a while, and then I don't hold those things too preciously. I mean, a guitar is meant to be played. So I mean, I'm pretty like kid gloves with it when I first get it.
Yeah.
But after a while, it's just and I don't own like if I had like one of those, a $10,000 collectible or something like that, that'd be different.
I don't think I ever could.
I don't think so either.
Because I agree with you. It should be played.
Yeah.
And what I need for this guitar, it's like I just need the first scratch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
After
It's
that,
like your new car. I just need one dent, and then I'm gonna be.
throw it against the wall, do whatever with it. Yeah, you know what I mean. Just
But it also made me feel as cliche it is. It's like I just don't really see the difference. And I think I would have to be a studio musician that needed an amazing amount of versatility to appreciate the difference.
yeah.
It's like I don't think I'm ever going to get the best out of this guitar with what I do.
I feel that.
You know?
I feel that, and I'm not someone who I'm a gear nerd, but I don't get into the minutia that a lot of I've got friends that can just tell the difference in pickups that are wound just a few extra times and how those sound better, and you always hear about Jeff Beck. He can hear the difference between one 9-volt and another 9-volt, and just how it makes a pedal sound different. And I don't get that in the weeds. To me, if it plays good, if it sounds good enough,
Yeah.
I can make it do whatever I need to do for the most part.
What do you play through right now?
What amp?
Yeah. What do you like for your setup?
I played through a Trace Elliott Velocet amp.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little kind of blue amp. It's a British amp, so it's very Vox AC15 kind of thing. So very chimey. Not a typical kind of amp, but I love it. It sounds fantastic. And then a pedal board of various accoutrements. A few pedals here and there.
Big board, small board?
It's a medium-sized board. I have a small board. I had a bigger board.
Is this a guitar player medium or like a real person medium?
It's a guitar player. Yeah, it's a guitar player medium.
It's just like a medium, like 30 pedals. Nothing crazy.
No, it's definitely a guitar player medium.
Okay.
But yeah, the big one, I'm getting too old to like lug a big giant board around.
Yeah.
And again, I love pedals. But I don't get too in depth into it. I want my staples.
Yeah. What are staples for you?
A good drive pedal.
Mm-hmm.
A good, if I have a good drive pedal and a good delay pedal, I can pretty well do whatever I need. Whatever I need to with that.
Yeah.
My medium-sized board, I have a drive, a fuzz, and then like a few mod pedals, like a chorus and a phaser.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so that's pretty basic.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's super basic.
It really is basic. It looks big.
Well, pedal, guitar, gear, fandom, whatever you want to call it. I mean, with just social media, YouTube exploding, it's so. I mean, people are like, you can't even play if you don't have these. And it's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And
yeah.
I mean, and I drifted way back to enjoying artists that just plug straight in.
Absolutely, yeah.
One of my favorite guitar players, and the band gets a lot of hate, even though they're incredible, is Cake.
Yeah,
the guitar player for Cake. Same, he's got a Gibson semi-hollow. I can't remember what's it called right now. It's Tennessean.
Yep.
Gibson Tennessean.
Or Gretsch.
His is a Gibson.
Okay.
It's a little slight difference.
Okay.
Like I wish I could look it up, but it's like a thinner body.
Okay.
They had like a maroon and an orange, because I bought an orange one at one time to just kind of feel it out. I was kind of like, they had it for cheap and I bought it and I was like, I'll sell it and make a little money, but I'll play on it. And it was a smoker's guitar. Otherwise I would have kept it, but I just couldn't stand it. You pull it out of the case and you're like,
just smells, just reeks of it. Yeah.
But, and he plugs straight into a 4x10 Blues DeVille or Blues. What was the 4x10 Fender Blues
DeVille,
amp? That's the DeVille, right? Yeah. Straight into that.
Yeah.
And it's just everything else was volume knob, tone knob, playing style.
Yeah.
And then when you listen to the variety of sounds he got out of that on those albums, I think at one point he used like a rat pedal and that was it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. But just going like, God, it really just comes down to your expression with, how you're playing it.
Yeah. It's it's cliche at this point, but absolutely.
But I love seeing those players like
hands,
that.
Yeah.
And then recently, like a more modern person I saw have you heard of Eddie 9-Volt?
Yeah.
He was at Sundown at Granada.
Yeah.
Same thing, straight into the amp.
Okay, cool.
And I was like,
good for
hell
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for
him.
him.
And especially at that venue. It's like, this is
Yeah.
a straight into the amp kind of venue. I love that
Yeah.
place. But yeah, and then, I start thinking, when it comes to pedals, I mean, I guess the people I like the most are the extremes. You got your Jack Whites, your Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello's, where it's like, let's just see how wild the pedal gets.
Yeah.
But
well, and Tom created a whole it's almost a whole other genre with what he does with his guitars.
you ever talk to anybody who says he sucks?
No.
Yeah.
Who says he sucks?
The internet.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, no, literally, people are like, oh, it's not difficult. And it's like, that's not the point.
It's not the point. Yeah.
It's like, do you remember when that album came out?
Yeah.
And reading on the back where they're like, they had to specify like everything was made with these instruments. There's no like samples, nothing.
Yeah.
And then you're listening to it and you're like, oh my God.
I mean, people said the same thing about the Edge when he was like, he's only playing like 2 notes. There's just a whole bunch of echo on it.
Yeah. Same thing. It's like, well, also he thought of that before you did.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's like everybody can do that. Sure. But you didn't come up with that idea.
No, he did. Yeah.
Oh, so do it.
Right.
Or like you ever hear somebody like, oh, they suck. Their album sucks. It's like, okay, go write one. Go write one and do what they did.
Yeah.
All right. It's like, what do you mean? But yeah, he still felt like a fish out of water, in my opinion, on that It Might Get Loud documentary.
The Edge did?
Where it was him, Jack White, and Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was a cruel, like he shouldn't have been the third. I get what they were going for.
For
like
sure.
the digital modern, thing, but I don't know. He's good, but it's just in such a different way than those two.
It's very different.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's a lot like Tom Morello. It's just it's a very different way of playing playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of guys that do that. But like even somebody like Derek Trucks on that would have been, even though it's similar musically, the way he plays is so different.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a true love of the instrument. You know, like
Yeah.
you feel like he probably like lays in bed with his guitar at night and wakes up
sure
with
he
it in the
does.
morning. I mean, just the touch on it is wild.
Yeah. The slide playing and the way he makes it sing. It's just,
And he's another straight into the amp guy, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, watching a guy like him play, you have to remind yourself that you're not supposed to be envious of anything because it's like, I'll never, ever get close to that.
Yeah. You got to let it inspire you instead of like, just like you said, just be like, I'm never going to do that. So what's the point?
Yeah. Well, who were your early influences? Like not for the Knockdown Dragout, but for your solo work? Because that sounds obviously very different than this sound.
Yeah, I mean, so guitar player wise, it's it's hard to be a guitar player from Dallas and not be influenced by Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then I'd be lying if I didn't say from that John Mayer. As much hate as he.
Well, he's another one who
gets.
received so much hate.
Yeah.
And it's only in the last 10 years where people are like, well, he's pretty amazing though.
He really, honestly is.
He's a player. And I
Yeah.
think it's hard for people to swallow that a guy who can write pop hits
That's what it was. Yeah.
is truly that in love with the guitar
Yeah.
and the history of blues playing.
I think if he had never written "Your Body Is a Wonderland," I think he probably would have gotten a lot more love. But I think it was that song specifically.
But we never would have heard of him.
Yeah,
Right? I mean,
you're right.
would he have made it into fame without those hits?
Not where he's at now for sure. But no. But so obviously Stevie, and then
Stevie, John Mayer.
and then in terms of like song, like honestly, my biggest influences were like the big three: Dylan, Hendrix, and the Beatles.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
you can't escape
No.
that.
Did you ever get into I feel like every guitar player goes through a Metallica phase.
I didn't.
No.
I mean, I enjoyed them. When I
Yeah.
first started playing, I had friends that were like, when I was in like little baby bands, and we would, Enter Sandman and stuff like that. We
Yeah.
would try to learn.
Well, you had to have learned Master of Puppets at some point, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just in the.
Everyone does it. Everyone does it.
Everyone does.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Tom Petty is probably one of my biggest influences from everything. Him and Mike Campbell. Just
Tom Petty's another one, man. It's just like every year you're older, the better it gets. Because you just have enough
So
life
good.
experience to appreciate the writing more, I
it's
think.
so good.
I don't think you can really love that when you're young because you just don't have enough.
No. Yeah.
You haven't lived enough yet, Like I don't
And I
think a
didn't-
15-year-old really.
No.
You like the songs, but I don't think you really hear them yet.
And I didn't really get it. Same. I didn't get into Petty until I was in my 30s, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I was fan, but I didn't really.
the
dive-
hits.
Yeah.
But then you start thinking of all the different hits. You're like, my God, they wrote that many?
Every album has at least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
At least. And he's
Yeah.
put, how many he put out like 10, 12, 15. I mean, who?
And you only get that way if you're in a band that is truly, touring the country, you're the real deal. Like before you were famous, you were playing nonstop.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only way you can get that good, So that's kind of what inspired more of the solo stuff, huh?
Yeah.
What was the left turn into the Knockdown Dragout? Totally different sound.
Yeah, totally different. So, Otis Redding is probably another one. Tom Petty and Otis Redding are probably my 2 biggest like musical influences up until now. And so, like when I would be just like in a Saturday morning or whatever, if like we're cleaning the house, I would have Otis Redding on.
Mm-hmm.
And I played trumpet all through college, so I've always loved just like horn bands.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what it was, just the combination of those 2 things, just wanting to do something with a little more soul to it. And so much of like my singer-songwriter stuff was just what I called sad bastard music, just kind of, drowning in my sorrows, kind of, I drink too much whiskey, that sort of stuff. And I just got tired of it.
You just don't seem very sad bastardy, though.
I'm not.
I don't get
as
that
a
vibe
person.
from you. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not as a person. I have I have so much to be happy about. Beautiful marriage, beautiful kids. And so that's what I loved about soul music is that even when they are singing sad songs, it's still just, it has a way of making you feel good and better. And I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
It just differently than, and just Americana, the genre of Americana in general, I was just tired of it.
Yeah, you'd worked in it for a while, man.
Yeah, and it's just a
Yeah.
lot of bad Americana out there. Not bad, just
No, I'll say it for you. There's
Sure.
a lot of bad.
a lot of bad. Yeah.
Well, there's just any time, there's like a a sound like that is a little more accessible to people who maybe don't really love it. Where it's way easier to be a phony in it, and there is a lot of that that comes out of it because it is real easy. You know, I mean, they make fun of us now calling it like the stomp clap music and all that, but it's like no. But the people who were good at it, this was great music.
Yeah,
it's great music
for sure.
It's just I've said it on here before, so I'm sorry to listeners, but that's the way I felt about Sturgill Simpson at the beginning.
Yeah,
I wasn't listening to him because I thought, oh, another pretend I'm a cowboy, outlaw, blah, 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 whatever, all the buzzwords, and I can't stand it. And it wasn't until I really listened to his Sailor's Guide to Earth album where I was like, oh my God, this is real deal. You know, another great horn section album.
Is.
You know,
yeah, it sure is.
God, did you see him perform on Saturday Night Live when he had the horn section? Because a lot of his touring,
I
he wasn't
remember
able to bring
that
the horn.
now. Yeah.
So good.
I loved his, like, before that album, he had a guitar player named Lore who was like from somewhere over in Europe.
Would this have been the Meta Modern or the High Top album? Which one?
It would have been around Meta Modern.
Okay.
But Lore was just one of the best chicken picking guitar players that I had ever seen. He was phenomenal. And then, Sturgill's fantastic. But like I said, there's just, like you were saying, there's just a low bar of entry for it. So there's just a lot of guys that, just have no business writing songs.
I agree with you.
Are putting out songs, or like you said, also just the wannabe songwriter or wannabe cowboy kind of thing, and they couldn't hack it in country, so they're going to do Americana.
Yeah, and I get why you feel like you couldn't hack it in country, because for you to be saying as good as that guy was on the guitar, knowing how many good guitar players there are in the amount of no-name lead guitar players in no-name bands that are touring all these bars, and they are just phenomenal guitar players. Yeah. And you're thinking like, God, the barrier to entry for country lead guitar player is that high?
Yeah.
To be that good and you're no one, you're nobody, and you got no chance, and you're that good, that's insane. And I have a buddy, Mike Tuck. He plays around, and he was playing with Pat Green. And he's that way. But I've known him for a long time through different friends, and we're not super close, but we've just kind of known him off and on. He's been on the show, but watching his playing evolve, because he went to UNT for their jazz program, but he didn't do well in it. Gotcha. And then after that, he went to the Air Force and he played guitar for the Air Force. And that's when he was just, how it is with your career. It's like you're playing every day. You're just getting better.
Those guys are phenomenal too. Yeah,
and then when he finished with Air Force, he just started playing, country music again for a living. Yeah. And now he's just phenomenal. And you're like, my God, dude. But he still is like, I suck so bad.
It's funny. Like I've got, do you know who Chris Holt is?
Yes.
I'm friends with Chris Holt, and I've gotten to work with him on a few things, but like I was in a session with him, and he got done recording some solo, and in my mind I'm going, oh, this is why you're the guy. This is why you're playing with the Eagles at the Sphere, and I'm here in Dallas playing,
And you watch him and it just feels so natural.
Yeah.
This is just, it's pouring a cup of coffee.
But it was funny, we did this petty thing at the Kessler a few months back, and Chris was in the band playing, and then, I'm drawing a blank on who the other guitar player is from up north, McKinney. But there was another guy playing, and there were so many amazing guitar players that night, but Chris was looking at that guy thinking what I was thinking about Chris. He was going, oh, that's why that guy's the guy. And it's going to drive me crazy if I don't think of it. Anyway.
You'll think of it later. Just shout it out when it comes up. I do that all the time.
So anyway, the point is
this is what happens when you have kids and you have real responsibilities. It's like all that information I used to be able to just store is gone.
Yeah, exactly. But my point being that there's always that guy above you that's like, oh, that's why he's the guy, and I'm here.
Yeah, basically, no matter what you excel at, there's an 8-year-old on YouTube who's better. Yeah,
right. Andy Timmons, I remembered it. Timmons.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal player. Wow, that's you definitely hit that. So the single American Healthcare Blues.
Yeah.
Did something happen? Did you have a health issue or something that spurred this?
Not me. Yeah. My son has asthma, and I feel like we have a good handle on it now. But we've had a couple stints in the hospital, just for whatever reason. And the last time we were there was almost exactly a year ago, we were there for a couple nights and, got through it. He's better now, like I said, got home. And you get hospital bills and just got to figure out how are you going to pay an exorbitant hospital bill.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife and I usually try to apply for financial aid, the couple times that he's been in the hospital. And what's frustrating about applying for financial aid through hospitals is that, one, there's no way to do it online. We've done it at a couple different hospitals. There's no way to do it online. They purposefully make it difficult for you.
Yeah.
So you have to call and try to ask, and they send you through the phone tree, and you talk to 10 different people, and then they make you feel like an idiot or a jackass for trying to ask for financial aid.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, well, you're the one charging me this. Like, don't be surprised when people have to struggle to pay for these prices. So we applied for financial aid and never heard any. They mailed the forms to me. I filled the forms out, mailed them back. Never heard anything. And so a couple months later, we were getting like debt collector notices, right?
Yeah.
And so then,
which again, it all feels like part of the strategy.
It's all
right?
part of the
We can
strategy.
drag this out. We can scare you.
Exactly.
We
That's
can
what
make
they
you
were doing.
worried and stressed.
That's what they were doing. So I called and I'm trying to figure out, one, because I still don't know if they've gotten my financial aid stuff. And I was calling with them that day, and I got passed around from the hospital to the debt collector, back to the hospital, back. And I must have spent, 2-3 hours on the phone, getting passed and forth. Nobody could give me a straight answer. And then I finally, at one point, I don't remember how it got to this point, but finally I was able to talk somebody down. I still never got a clear answer on whether or not they got my financial aid or if we were accepted or anything, but I was able to talk them down, or they had offered me half price on the bill. And they were just like, if you take...
So I'm assuming you're talking about several thousands of dollars.
Still, yeah.
Yeah.
Even at half price, several
Yeah.
thousands of dollars, which is a month's salary, right? You know what I mean? They offered me that, like, if you can pay this now, we'll clear it. We won't send it. We won't. It won't go on your not record,
Like your
but
credit
your
report
credit
and all
report.
that.
It won't
Yeah.
go on any of that. If you can just. And so, like, I at that point, I was so exhausted, just mentally, emotionally, and I just said, "Fine, whatever. I'll just do it." And then,
Which again feels like part of the game, right?
which feels like part of the game.
We wore
The
you
fact
down.
the fact that they can take 50% less, and they're happy doing that, it tells me that they know that most people aren't going to ask for it.
And now at least, well, we don't know, but it feels like, if when you hear that, it feels like, okay.
The costs are arbitrary.
So also at 50% of the cost, you can do it.
Yeah.
So could we not have started at 50% of the cost?
Right, exactly.
And,
Exactly.
and so you wonder, it's like, I don't, when you hear it that way, it's like, I don't think you're willing to do this and lose money.
No.
I feel like you're probably making something off of this still. But it's hard to tell because it's not transparent at all. And it feels like a game, even if it's not.
Exactly.
So yeah, but sorry, go on.
Well, and then the
so
thing-
you got them down to half, and you're like, I'll just pay it.
And then the thing that finally broke me is I was like, I gave her my credit card and all that, which, I'm having to pay with a credit card. I'll tell you, so like.
So the bill's going back
So the
up
bill-
with that high interest.
So I finally we get through all that, and she says, "Well, aren't you happy? Aren't you happy? Aren't you glad that we were able to do this 50%?" And I was just like, I didn't call her a bad word, but I wanted to. I was like, "You jerk! Like, this isn't good news for me.
No.
Like, I'm not feeling better about this. I'm only slightly less stressed. I'm only in a slightly better position than I was 30 minutes ago."
Yeah, I was able to defer this payment onto my own credit
Right.
card. So I've
Yeah.
got, 30 more days till I have to stress about this
Right.
again.
So don't condescend to
Yeah.
me like I should be happy that you are offering me this. And I'm lucky. I have a job where I can be home and make these and spend that amount of time on the phone. I'm happy that it was in a position that we could pay that.
Well, imagine if you have, like you said, imagine if you have a boss where they're like, hey, man, get to work. You can't be on the phone for 2 hours. I mean, I'm sorry about your family, but we got work to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So I got off the phone with her and I broke down. I couldn't take it. It was just so frustrating and so heartbreaking. I just broke down. And so I went for a long walk and, wrote the first verse. of the song on that walk, and then finished the next 2 verses out over the next couple of days, and then that was kind of that was last fall, like November-ish, October, November, and then around that same time, all the stuff with the subsidies going away, and so. Everybody's healthcare premiums doubled, tripled, some people quadrupled, you know what I mean? So it seemed like an appropriate time.
And back to your specific story with your son too, it's one thing, okay, you were doing something crazy that you really shouldn't be doing and you broke your leg. And I mean, it still shouldn't be exorbitant. But it's like, when you just have asthma, when you have things that are out of your control, and you're getting bills for these things. It's like, well, I didn't do anything I wasn't supposed to do to deserve this kind of, headache and treatment. I go, that's one of my biggest things. I don't lean like socialist, Republican, Democrat. I like to live right in the middle, give me the best ideas. That was the thing I loved about Bernie Sanders. And I was so frustrated because I felt like their biggest mistake was marketing that as free healthcare.
Right.
Because he thought, I know what they're doing. They're thinking they're going to reach the bleeding heart liberals that are younger and we're going to get this vote. And it's that vote that never turns out anyway.
Right.
But he was correct. We don't need to call it socialism, socialized medicine. We don't need to call it free. Call it what it is. It's like we're going to allocate our taxes more appropriately so that we can pay for healthcare for citizens. And these are great examples, right?
Yeah.
Well,
because if my son is having an asthma attack and he needs to get life-saving medicine, I'm not going to call around and go, "Oh, what deal can you give me? Can you beat this other hospital's deal?"
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to as quickly as I can. I'm going to get my son the life-saving medicine. Mm-hmm. And to me, I'm not a politician. I'm just a dumb musician. But to me, it's the same as like if my house is on fire, I'm not going to shop around for the best firehouse to come put out the fire.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same. It's the same thing. Right, and like those types of things, there's no capitalism doesn't work with those types of things.
Yeah, well, and I think we want a country like this to succeed in capitalism really well.
Sure.
So that we can also be able to afford those types of things for the citizens that are fine living in capitalism. Right. It's like, I don't want to live in communism.
No.
But I do like having, all the cliches of like, yes, we know the fire department, the police department, these are socialized programs. Right. I'm happy with those. Public school, those are good too. And we've always been a blend. I'm happy with that blend. It's just, and the other thing is too, I'm very happy if we stay in the current system with insurance plans, with insurance companies, and with hospitals. If you were to put all that in check so that when I pay for I will pay double my monthly premium if you never send me another bill.
Yeah.
I don't want any copays. I don't want any deductibles. I don't want a bill. Okay. Yeah. So, when you're paying your insurance premium, then you have your copay, then you have your deductible, then you're getting bills because they're like, hey, we know we took your son to this emergency room, but that physician that you saw doesn't actually bill through that hospital. It's not on your insurance plan.
Yep. And he's not in your network,
they've got a totally separate bill for you also. It's like, come on, what are we doing? And if I looked at the profits of that insurance company, and it was like, well, they profited $150,000 last year.
Yeah.
Okay, this all makes sense. It's not going well.
Yeah.
But when you see, these are companies that make billions of dollars in profit, and it's not one company; it's multiple companies doing that, right? And then when you look at hospital systems, not even to name an individual one, but when you just look at there are hospital systems that are public, right? They're traded. So their finances are out there for you to go look up.
Right.
And you can see that they have CEOs that make $30 million a year.
Yeah.
And then that if that's the CEO, how much more bloated administration do we have between the CEO and until we get to physician? If you're in a hospital, right? Your workers, your nurses, all your health workers, even janitors, everybody that it takes to keep that machine running needs to get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, and we should pay those people well.
And
That's my opinion,
they're
right?
specialized. They go through a lot of schooling.
Sure.
They deserve to get a fair pay for what they do.
Yeah, and if you're a physician and you went to school for all that time, you deserve to get a fair pay. And
Absolutely.
If you go to school for 14 years or whatever they're doing, you deserve to make more than the average person.
Yes.
Okay, and hopefully you're good at what you do because you're right. But then you find out that wait. These pencil pushers above the doctors are making more than the doctors.
Right.
The people who are doing the work right? That the people who are prescribing the medicine, who are
Right.
ordering your exams, make less than the person who's like, well, so we really want to, we got to order a couple machines. We got to open
Sure.
up. I know it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a difficult job, but they shouldn't be making more than the
No.
doctor.
No.
And it just feels like in healthcare there shouldn't be like performance bonuses
Right.
for people who aren't actively taking care of patients, right?
Like, what is your performance?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what I mean. Like now,
yeah.
if you are a physician who has, great results, you're able, and you're doing it in an
Yes.
efficient way so that you can serve more of the public every day than
Right.
other physicians, and the results don't drop. And they're like, we want to give you another $100,000. It's
Go
like,
for
well,
it.
I guess that adds up. He
Yeah,
saw
go for
he
it.
saw 30% more patients, and they're all getting better than the other doctors.
Yeah.
The person who's doing the work.
Right.
But to find out that some director of whatever, it's like, yeah, they got a bonus because they were able to cut costs by 20% or something.
Right.
And it's like, well, cut cost means less care, right? Or
Yeah.
less supply or less workers. And it's like, whoa, what are we doing?
It's
And again,
bad.
I know it's more involved, but at the core of it,
At the core of it, it shouldn't be that complicated.
past paying the medical people that are doing the daily work,
Right.
having some savings for like when something wild like COVID hits and you're hurting, right?
Sure.
And then, setting aside for like growth and expansion. We want to build another wing or something.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. All of that makes total sense.
Totally.
I don't think you should be zero profit.
Right.
But there shouldn't be that much profit. There should be that much.
Right, yeah.
That's insane. To, and to know you're working in a field that affects the public that much.
Yeah.
Well, you said your son was in the hospital for a couple days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you have the luxury of being at a facility where they charged you for parking also?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
So it's like, hey,
Yeah.
your son, it's not horrible, but it's not looking great. We need to keep him here for a couple days. All right. So why don't you get some rest? You come back in the morning. We just need $5 if you want out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then 5 more when you come back.
Yeah, and it's like you don't even have the courtesy to lump that into the bill. You're making me pay you're making me pay to park here.
I know.
On what everyone here is having a bad day, unless they're being paid to be here. And again, I know that's not like the worker's fault. Like you shouldn't go take that out
I
on a
know.
nurse, right?
Yeah.
But whoever is up in that office higher up, who's like, a way we can make $400,000 more this year.
Is
We
if you
just charge them for parking.
$20 for parking. Yeah.
We call
So
and then they don't even have the courtesy anymore to have like a booth with a person.
Yeah.
You're doing that kiosk bullshit. Right? Where you're like, take your ticket, scan it, charge it. It doesn't give change. You better have a card
No,
on
yeah.
you.
Oh yeah.
And then you think like, you guys are the exception with your son going into the ER.
Yeah.
More older people go than younger people
Sure,
to a
yeah.
hospital. So we're sending, like 60, 70, 80-year-olds out there to work this digital kiosk like, God, what are we doing?
Yeah. They purposefully make it complex.
Yeah.
It's
We don't have to
Insurance
pay
is
the
around.
worker who could help the person trying to get out of the thing, and we can put it on. We save so much money, and we partnered, blah, blah, blah. And it all just feels like, God, when is it enough?
Yeah,
when is it
man.
enough? I don't know who's going to fix it now. I don't know. Nobody seems to be, now that Bernie is gone pretty much out of, he's out of the story, nobody's really talking about it.
not in the way they need to.
No, everybody's like, it's terrible.
Right.
So what are we going to do?
They throw up their hands and go, it is what it is.
Yeah.
This is just how it is if you want to live in America. But
I think the only person who's even made an attempt was, local guy Mark Cuban. He's doing a prescription
Cost
medicine
plus, yeah.
company that is substantially more affordable, and it's like, okay, there we go. Now
Yeah.
we need a couple more of these billionaires to make moves like that.
Yeah.
People who are like,
and that's what it'll take. It'll take people like that cutting out the middlemen.
I'd like to think that if you were a crazy billionaire, you could build maybe, I don't know if you start with one hospital or you do a system, or if you start with like an insurance company, but I would love for like, if Elon Musk just thought it would be funny to like, I'm going to ruin insurance by starting my own insurance company. We're going to charge a reasonable premium that's slightly more than others, but you don't pay anything after that. And then you would I would feel like you would have such an influx of customers that you would still
Fuck, I'd
be
go
profitable.
I'd go out and buy a Tesla today.
Right?
If he did that.
Yeah. Or if like Bezos did something like that, I'd be
Yeah.
like, I only shop Amazon. And it's like for them,
They could do that and still be billionaires at the end of the day.
yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean?
it feels that way, right? Like, or at least you could run into it at an attempt, and you would
Yeah.
put such a dent in the current industry that they would have to change a little.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I don't care how sleazy of a billionaire you are. If you were going that route, I might fully support you.
Yeah.
Because so many people could benefit from that. Because
Oh my
again,
gosh.
you're one story.
One out of, yeah.
You know everybody else at that facility that you were at that day, similar story.
And we're one of the lucky ones, right?
Yeah.
And I know that, you know what I mean? So like, it's hard to,
Yeah, but when you know that, you just know it could be done, right? Because, yeah, maybe socialized healthcare sucks in some other countries.
sure.
But, it's like, we got the Olympics going on right now. And it's like, when that stuff goes on, you're like, yeah, but we're the USA.
Right.
Okay, I don't care if your system sucks. We're going to pull all the best crap out of yours, and we're going to make our incredible system, and we're going to call it Bald Eagle Healthcare. And like it's going to be... Like, what happened to that American pride of like, oh, we can do it better than anyone in the world?
Yeah.
And it's like, who's going to be the person to do that has the funds and the power? But
Here's hoping.
I guess so, yeah. But that's just brutal. Especially, I mean, it's bad for anybody, but
Yeah.
it's your kid.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
mean,
said,
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Hey, partner, you got to tough it up.
Yeah.
If
rub
we
some dirt on
go, it's going to be a big bill.
And I hate feeling that because like, even now it's like when he'll go through like asthma attacks, I'm like, is this one bad enough to go? I don't know. And I don't want to have that thought.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just,
a wild thought to have, right? You should just go, let's be on the safe
Let's
side.
just go.
Be on the safe side. Let's check it out. But it's like, okay, and with asthma, with that kind of history, right? It's not just the doctor will check you out, see if you're breathing okay. It's like, well, since he's done this, we better do these tests. We better do these things. So instantly you just see the bill just going up because you got to check, right?
Yeah.
Are the lungs good? Heart good? What are we looking at? Got to
all
do
the
these
things, yeah.
And then, even more of a cynic, it's like, okay, well, like how much of big pharma is playing a role in the breathing treatment my son gets today? And like, is he getting the
100%.
best one, or is he getting the one that
100%.
we middle class people can afford?
Right.
I mean, just, do they have the super special medicine where if he breathed this in for 3 weeks, he'd be cured of asthma?
They're just hiding it from us.
I don't
These
know.
bastards, yeah.
I don't know. It's
know.
like that's the conspiracy lane you don't want to dive into too deep because you're thinking like, maybe they do. Like, there's some smart people running these businesses, and then there's also some totally sociopathic, unethical people who want to keep you sick and selling that medicine.
Yeah, and you definitely feel that in they're like, well, we want to keep you just overnight, just one more time to be sure. We just want to be. It's a lot of that. We just want to be sure, which I get it. I want you to be sure.
Yeah,
but what does it take for you to be sure?
Yeah. Well, and I also get too that, that's like the other pitfall of American society is, we're so sue happy that if they were like, he seems to be doing better. If you guys want to go home tonight,
you'd probably be okay.
Probably okay. And if something happens, come right back.
Yeah.
And then if you go home and it wasn't okay, and then you're like, I'm suing every one of you here. And so now they have to do a bunch of CYA to make sure. And it's like, I get it, but
yeah.
But also, how about just, how about just like a menu of prices?
Right.
Where I know before we even go, like what things kind of cost. Because the numbers all feel made up, right?
Totally made up. And it goes back to that, well, we'll just take 50%. Okay, well, then it didn't matter. You just threw out a number.
Can you just charge 50% always?
Yeah. You just made up a number because that's how it feels right now.
Well, what I heard too is that, and I got nothing to back this up. So if you're in this industry, I'm sorry. But, allegedly what I heard is you're in kind of this cat and mouse game where insurance never wants to pay these bills.
Yeah.
Right. So the hospital says, okay, this bill is $1,000. And insurance is like, yeah, we're not going to pay $1,000. We'll pay $600.
Right.
Right. And so then later on, the hospital's like, yeah. So this is actually, $1,400. It's not $1,000. They're like, okay, we'll pay $1,000.
Yeah.
And so now they're getting the $1,000 they wanted, but it's kind of this cat and mouse thing that's like jacking up prices for everyone.
It just
and so the numbers are arbitrary because they're just trying to get this amount. So they're like, well, if we bill it this, then we can do that. But the problem is the difference of that bill still goes to you,
right?
Because we think it's the real bill.
Right. Yeah.
We don't. And again, I could be totally off. That could just be the crazy conspiracy part of me that thinks that. But it feels that way. It's like when you see what they charge for things like, Tylenol.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like, what is that? What is that price? How is that
Well,
not?
and the doctors know, like, because everything they do gets a code. It's all coded, and you can code one operation a number of different ways.
Yes.
You can code it one way, and it can be $50. You can code it another way, and it could be $2,000. So it all just depends on, and the doctors and the insurance companies, they all know how to code it in a certain way to get the end result money-wise that they need.
Which goes back to, I feel like if you were making insurance companies pay the physician with no runaround, at least then there would be less incentive to try to cheat the system.
Right.
Right? I do think a root of all of this, one of the roots is insurance company greed. It's like you're ruining that.
Yeah.
If this physician knew I can just go in, do this work, get paid an honest price every time for this, you wouldn't have a lot of these more. I mean, you'd always have a few, but you wouldn't have a lot of crafty ones who are trying to manipulate that system to, because again, how much is their medical debt when they become a doctor? I mean, it's substantial. And then because everybody's suing, how much is your malpractice insurance?
Yeah, again, hundreds, tens of thousands of dollars a year probably.
And I'm sure it costs a lot of money to open a clinic, staff people, have health care for them, and, all the stuff. It's like, so can we just like make it easy for them to get paid what they're deserved at least? Right. And then maybe that'll trickle into lower cost for everybody. Yeah. But, I don't know. If it's crazy to say. I hate even saying it, but it's like if that guy from United Healthcare getting shot didn't even make them flinch. Yeah, that tells you how much they're like. Well, it's just business. It happens, man.
It's cost of doing business.
Yeah, somebody was going to get shot. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's how you should handle it.
Of course not.
We should have some politicians who go in there and handle this. But you're thinking like, wow, they didn't change anything after that happened.
No,
it's like you're not even scared of the public. It's crazy. Like, could you imagine screwing people over that hard and you have no fear just like going out to eat? Right? It's like if I screwed you over today, knowing we live in this similar neighborhood here, I'd be worried I'm going to like bump into you somewhere, And it's like, think how many people they've screwed over.
Yeah.
And they have no fear. No. And their name's listed on like the company, like CEO here, and they've got their picture up and like you know what they look like, their full name. Man. And then internet nerds can find out everything they want to about your address, where you're going, your flight path. It's like, you're not nervous at all? Like, you're special kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, money and power makes you feel a certain kind of indefensible that's just, I don't know. It's crazy, man. Even
just being on a podcast, sometimes I feel like I'm a little too like
out there?
Exposed.
Yeah.
And, and there's nothing on the line here.
I don't know. Maybe we've pissed some, healthcare CEOs off today.
Maybe
they'll come after us.
I'm sure there's some good ones, but
I'm sure there are.
But I feel like if you,
I think it's important to look at the systemic things instead of, I mean, that's the problem. You can't. It's hard not to look at individuals. You have to look at the systemic problems with the whole system, right? Because it's a system, right? And people are involved in that system and they work as a part of it, but it's a system. So we've got to figure out, how do we fix the system?
Yeah, because the system right now, the way it operates, is what attracts that type of CEO to come work and make those types of changes. Yeah. So what's going to, a CEO of that healthcare system is making $30 million.
Yeah.
What would attract someone who is comfortable making $3 million?
Right.
But still would love to build a hospital system that takes care of all of its patients.
They're fine only having the one yacht.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if you're running a whole system, okay, a couple million seems like, well, you probably got some stuff on your plate.
I would think.
But then again, I kind of feel like you shouldn't be able to make more than your highest paid physician.
I mean, I feel that way about most, companies in general across all sectors. Mm-hmm. That's a different topic, I suppose, but
it's kind of the same topic, though, right?
It's kind of the same.
The gap between CEO and worker is out of hand, and there's only a few companies that are holding it down in a really ethical way.
Yeah,
those companies are thriving because of that. Like, who are the good examples? Maybe like Costco. I think their CEO makes significantly less and could make significantly more
if you want.
Yeah, and I'd have to look it all up. But there are companies out there where they're not doing the typical, like, we made so much and here's your pizza party.
Just hand over fist, yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know. What would you do to get the ball rolling on it, you think?
Me? Man, like I said, I'm a dumb musician.
Well, you wrote a song, you got a little nudge on it?
I have to think that there is a way to do a public option. I just again I wouldn't know how to get into the weeds of all that, but there's got to be a way of offering some sort of public option. And if there are rich people out there that still want to hire their special, Harvard trained doctors and
Sure.
they want to pay more for that, go for it.
Yeah.
But there ought to be a base level of public option that I can feel comfortable and safe with, just like I do with the fire people, the
fire department.
fire department
I gotcha.
and the police department, right? Like well, again, I'm lucky, so I know there are a lot of people out there who don't have the same trust in the police department that I do, but but again, that's a whole other topic. But in my mind, there's got to be some sort of way to do a public option.
Yeah. I mean, have you, being a musician, have you heard of what they do in Austin for the musicians?
I have, and they've started something like that also here in Dallas.
What's it called in Dallas? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Because I was reaching out, because the Austin one's called HAM, right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's insurance for their artists,
Yeah.
and there's stipulations, I guess, on what makes you an artist. Like, I guess you play a certain number of gigs or have
Sure,
things
yeah.
released, whatever, blah blah blah. But I was thinking that I reached out to them to try to get information on how they started, and essentially it's just a nonprofit.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things where I was like, man, I really want to see if I can get the wheels turning on that up here, but it's kind of hard to just know where to start.
Right. Yeah.
And but it seems like DFW is so large that would be something easy to kick off the ball. And you think to yourself, like, okay, if you can do it for a small group,
Right.
we got to be able to scale that somehow.
There are people out there smarter than me that should know how to figure that out. Yeah, there is one that I've seen start here in Dallas in the last year.
I got to figure out who that is and get them on here, because I'd love to talk about like just how that process goes. Is it like strictly donations? Are the musicians buying into it? Like, how does it? Are you paying like a typical policy? How does it work?
From what I understand, you're paying some sort of premium, but it's obviously an affordable one.
Sure.
But I don't know, what's involved with it beyond that.
I guess you haven't bought into that. You've got your own.
We've got our own.
Yeah. But I mean, it is important. I mean, you gotta take care of the people if you want your like, even if you're just greedy,
right?
You make more money when we're healthy,
right? Yeah.
And like, keep me healthy and happy while you're stealing my money.
Absolutely. That's the least you could do, right?
Oh, wouldn't you be better? You'd be a better greedy person if you did that.
Yeah, you can't steal my money if I'm. Well, I guess you can if I'm dead, but
A good virus, keeps the host alive.
exactly.
Right?
Right.
Oh my gosh. I mean, did you feel when you finished that song, does it feel cathartic, or do you just feel like, well,
Yes
it's
and
out?
no.
You know what I mean?
It does feel cathartic. I mean, songwriting is how I process things. So this song in particular, because it was so immediate and fresh after I had that conversation on the phone with him. It just, like I said, I wrote that pretty much the first verse on my walk after I got off the phone. So it was very cathartic to be able to to kind of deal with that. And I don't feel better. Obviously, there are no answers, as we've demonstrated. But it did help to at least put it out. I believe there is something very powerful about music as a healing antidote. So it did help.
As much as I love music, it is weird to think about that, because I love music before I say what I'm about to say, but it doesn't matter, but then it does. You know what I mean?
In certain senses, but it absolutely does.
Yeah,
and that's why when people talk about how afraid they are of AI, it doesn't bother me at least AI taking over music. I mean, it's something to be concerned with, and we got to deal with. But there is something, without getting too woo-woo, there's something magical and mystical about humans making music, and it does something like just visceral and mystical inside of you. And I was talking to my wife about it before we came over here. My brother and sister-in-law, they text us a video clip of they've got two little 2-year-old twins, and they were just singing along to a song at like this along to this Benson Boone song. And I was telling my wife, like, isn't it amazing that like you don't have to teach people to sing along to music. It's just innate inside of you that you hear something and you're like, oh, I like that. It makes me want to sing or dance along with it.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful thing. And there's not a lot of things out there in the world that can do that the way music can.
It definitely makes you too wonder why, making sounds.
Yeah.
Just making sounds
Any kind of
is
sound.
that important, and it crosses cultures and tribes. I mean, back to before you had any type of technology, people were just making sounds that, like, why is, like, if you really think about it, it's weird that we all want to go into a room in a public place and hear you make sounds and move our bodies in whatever ways.
It's all just sound waves.
Like if you were an alien and you came and saw this, you'd be like,
what is how?
these are strange rituals. It's like when you watch a bird do a mating dance and you're like, that's stupid. That's weird. What, but I don't know. It just does. It's like you could not speak the language wherever you're at, and you could play some music and people would, probably be down with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does. I've loved music my whole life. It's been such a deep part of my life, and it's like a couple times a year you're just like, this is so stupid.
It's so weird. So weird. Yeah. Why do I like this?
I mean, and especially from your vantage point, like you've been on how many stages now playing live, and you see total strangers who didn't know you were going to be there that night, just enjoying it, and it's like it's great for your ego. I wrote this song, we love it, but you're like, that's so weird that you're here and you like this, huh? Okay, I'm glad you like it, but that's crazy,
Yeah.
You wonder if it feels like there's got to be something more to it than that. Like, why do animals and things respond to it that way? Have you seen this guy who goes and plays for animals?
No.
God, I got a bunch of shit to send you. Sorry, but he's in his own band. He's from another country, and he plays a pink acoustic guitar.
Okay.
But he'll go to
Strike one.
He'll go to like an animal sanctuary.
Yeah.
Like a place that's got elephants or something, and he'll just play a cover or an original, and he does it in a very like soft acoustic way.
Right.
Great singing voice, and the animals are always just naturally intrigued. They're just coming, and it's everything from like an elephant, a monkey, lions, hyenas, like weird, vicious animals, and they'll just come over and like lay around, and it's like taming the beast somehow. And you're like, even on their level, it's like that should sound like nothing to them.
Yeah.
It should sound just weird noise that doesn't make any sense. But it's like this lion decided, I'm not going to growl and roar. I'm just going to chill.
I'm not going to eat this guy's head right
this
now.
Beautiful thing,
it's so pretty.
It's like, so you wonder, it's like if we're in a simulation or something, is this a part of it? Is this a key
I don't know, man.
thing?
I'll take it though.
Yeah. It's what do you think was the most magical musical experience you've ever had? Not necessarily playing your own music, but just a song, a show, a moment. What sticks with you?
That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know. There's a band called Over the Rhine. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're from Cincinnati. And I remember they were playing at the House of Blues. And I don't even remember anything specific about the songs they were playing, but I just remember that feeling like, there's just something magical. And I feel that also that way about almost any Josh Ritter show I've been to.
Really?
You know Josh Ritter?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him?
Mm-mm.
He plays, he is the most like joyfully infectious performer I've ever seen.
Okay.
And he's been doing it now for, I don't know, 25 years, maybe more than that at this point. But he plays with such joy that it's hard not to just get caught up in that. It's beautiful. It's magical to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And you feel like such a, I don't know, it's such a spiritual experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a spiritual experience. There's no other way that I noticed how to describe it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's interesting moments where songs or concerts kind of hit you at unique times.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one I'm thinking about now, just because I talked about Sturgill, is this was when I was still hating on him. I didn't know much about him.
Yeah.
And
but sometimes that can be the most powerful experience when you go in like arms folded, not expecting something.
Yeah. Well, we went and watched him at whatever they're calling that theater in Grand Prairie now, over by the track, the big one. It's like Verizon or something.
Nokia. It'll always be Nokia to me.
Okay, Nokia. So we're there. What does that hold? 6,000-7,000 people?
Yeah,
probably?
something like that. Yeah.
And he's got. I know the song really well now, but at the time I didn't, and I didn't know any of his music at the time. And there were two parts. One is he's playing one of the songs on just an acoustic, and I've seen a lot of acoustic performers, but it's like you watch, like we've seen like Willie Nelson at a festival show, and similar amount of people, but there's always the people like, hey, you gonna go get a beer? But there's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
chatter. There's
Sure,
noise.
sure.
And he had 6,000 people locked in.
Wow.
Everyone's quiet, and they're just listening to this acoustic version of the song he was playing.
Yeah, man.
And then the second part was he was back on a full band song. And I don't know if you're familiar with that album. If you listen to that
A little
album
bit,
lot.
yeah.
There's
Not
a
a
song
ton,
on there
but yeah.
called I think it's called Sarah. But anyway, it's a song, a relationship song. He's
Yeah.
going to come back to this woman, all that kind of stuff. He's messed up. But one of the lines, it's like a second or third verse. It's not a key moment
Yeah.
necessarily. But the lyric is, forgive me if sometimes I feel a little crazy, but goddamn, sometimes crazy is how I feel.
Yeah.
And it's sung soft, light. It's not a moment.
Right.
But before I knew the song well, in that concert, he's playing it, and he's playing it the same way, and the whole crowd is like screaming, but goddamn, somehow it's crazy out. And you're like, whoa. The ability of that
That's cool, man.
that B song second verse lyric.
Yeah.
I didn't think they all connected. Like, that's weird to me that they all connected on that
song,
lyric.
yeah.
Not the one they put out as the hit or anything.
Right.
It's like, wow, that one. It wasn't even like, it's not the chorus of the song.
Yeah, it's just
You
some
know?
line that they. Oh,
Yeah. And so you're like, God, man, what a moment that, like, all these strangers happen to love that line.
Yeah.
Is interesting. I mean, it's kind of like, well, in your bands, have you ever decided, what the popular song is after you've played them? Or do you always wonder which one is the one people like the most?
I always, you always have the song that you think will be the hit,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not.
Yeah, but when you're working through your set list, and you're playing, like, how do you decide which one is going to come up to, like, oh, this is going to be the one they love? I mean, is it after multiple shows? Are you hearing from friends or something? Because
That's usually how. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of just seeing how an audience responds.
do you look at your Spotify plays and like,
Oh, yeah, sometimes, yeah, that's part of it. But yeah,
because you really never know. You
No,
never
you
know which
don't.
one's
Yeah.
connecting.
no, you don't. I mean, like I said, you always have the one that you think will connect, the one you think will be the hit, or not even just a hit, but the one that
Yeah.
people kind of gravitate towards.
Well, which one off of? This is the 2024 album, right?
Yes.
Is that when this came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knockdown
so,
Dragout.
yeah, because this was the debut of Knockdown
Yeah.
Dragout in a full LP, right?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So on this list, which one did you think was like, we nailed it? It's like perfection.
So one of the ones I love the most
Where you finished recording, you have zero feedback, and you're like, this is it.
was called "Love Me Back to Life," and that's the one with the string section. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorites to record.
What about that one is just hitting you that way, where it's your favorite?
Get the strings on it help a ton.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really cool to get those strings on it, and then it's kind of a groove. It's kind of just a standard kind of Motown kind of groove that makes you kind of want to get up and dance a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really proud of that one. It felt really good.
And then which one was really like your live show? Which one was the one where people are really vibing with the most?
The one that people have liked the most is it's called "Dancing in the Kitchen."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I love that one too. I'm
Well, you
I'm
love
really
all of them
proud-
if you
obviously,
record it.
but
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems to be the one. And then another one's called "Gotta Get Back to Texas," which is a really old song of mine that I re-recorded for this album.
Yeah, I saw that on the previous solo work. Yeah.
So, yeah, and I don't know if maybe that's just the Texas thing that people love about that one.
Maybe not though. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
hard to tell,
It's
right?
it's hard to know. Yeah.
And then just God, the amount of songs that I, of just different bands over the years that I didn't like, and then 10 years later I love them. Where you've grown as a person, you
Yeah.
like things more. When you see, so like that little thing we just went through, where it's like what your favorite was versus
Yeah.
what ended up being like a really popular one out there, right? Do you find that affects your writing now? Do you think about writing differently because of that?
it really doesn't. I mean, I
Do you catch yourself writing for the show and the stage?
sometimes, yeah. I mean, and I don't think that's all bad. I think it can be if you let that dominate every aspect of your writing. But I'd be lying if I said that while I'm writing a song, I don't think about, well, is this going to connect with people a certain way? I just think you have to do your best to just not let that consume the way you write. Like, I mean, honestly, I would continue to write songs even if I never put out another song. But I also want to write songs that people like.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you still do you get like the mental image of yourself on a stage while you're writing the song and how that song's going to play? Yeah.
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 That's weird.
I love performing. I love everything about it, especially, if the crowd is big and good and really into it. I mean, there's nothing like it for all the reasons we talked about a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, that's it's a different kind of high, different kind of drunk,
Especially as I write these soul songs, because to me the whole point of soul music is to make people want to like get up and dance and have a good time, right? So like that's like that was one of the chief aims of this album, was to make people want to feel good and get up and dance.
This is one of my gaps in knowledge about you, is because I haven't seen this band live. You know what I mean? I haven't seen the Knockdown Dragout live, and it's like I've been in enough bands in the past, and like, we've recorded albums and stuff, and it's like you just never, as much as you want to, you never get it fully on the album.
Yeah.
And so that's when I hear an album like that, that's when I catch myself thinking like, I wonder what this sounds like at Sundown at Granada. I wonder what this sounds like at Kessler, where it's you're feeling it how it was written.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to catch a show at some point.
We got a few coming up.
Yeah. When are the next ones?
The next one is going to be Thursday, April 9th at AMFM.
Where's AMFM?
It used to be called Ferris Wheelers.
Oh, yeah. I know that. Yeah, great place.
Yeah, it recently changed.
That's
owners.
far West Dallas.
Yeah, Design District area. We're opening for Southern Avenue, which is a great like blues soul band from Memphis. And it's going to be a really fun show. And then we're playing May 15th at Levitt Pavilion in Arlington, opening up for the Suffers.
When do you think is the next time you'll have like a headlining set?
I don't know. Hopefully soon.
Because, how much time are you getting in an opening slot?
45 minutes, 30, 45
okay,
minutes.
that's a longer opening slot than I thought. Okay, so you can actually still get into it then.
Yeah.
I was worried they're giving you, 20 minutes,
No.
25 minutes.
They'll be around 45 minutes.
Do you have the luxury of getting one of your larger,
I'm going to take the luxury.
Together?
Yeah, it's going to be there'll be about 8 or 9 of us on stage.
Ooh, so that's going to be a good.
Yeah, it'll be the horn section. I always try to go with the horn section if possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to do it.
And the guys that play with me they're monsters. They're so good. It's hard for me to not just like stop down and just gawk at them playing. It's unbelievable.
Now, you're like a family man. Are you going to have do you get the itch to like just take this on the road?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, do you think you will?
If there's a booking agent out there that wants to sign us and book us, I would. I would do it. Yeah, in a heartbeat. I think.
What would with family and kids? What would touring look like for you? Like, how does that work?
It would have to. You're right. It would have to look a certain way. I'm not going to jump in a van and play 200 dates a year. I'm getting too old for that. 2, I'm not going to be away from my kids for that long. My wife sings in the band with me, so
yeah, you can't both be gone.
No, we can't both be gone. We can't. If there was a way where we could both be gone with the kids, we would do that. That sounds like the dream.
I ask because I feel like there are so many musicians, bands in a similar thing.
Yeah,
because music's a weird thing. How long have you been playing all together now? Do you think, and performing in live bands? How many years? How many decades?
Since about 2009 or 8. So, almost 20 years, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
But as well as I do, so much great music by amazing bands of yesteryear. It's not like they made that in their first 3 years together.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's like
sure.
It takes a decade now. I'm starting to really appreciate any art you're doing.
Yeah.
You got to get your 10,000 hours in.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm thinking of all the bands who were doing it, for 10 years, didn't get their shine, and they're like, well, I guess we hang it up. And it's like, man, no, this was the moment where now you're at the beginning again, which sucks, but
it's a long game.
Yeah, but because it's a long game, people naturally want to go on with their life, right? They want to get married, they want to have kids, they got to pay for these things, they got asthma attacks, they have hospital bills, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, real life hits you so fast.
100%, yeah.
But it's like there's got to be a way. There's got to be some label, booking agent, venues, chain of venues that can set it up to where you can get Weekend Warriors back on the menu and all these other spots, and it actually make financial sense for everyone.
I would hope so. The touring has gotten real kind of weird for.
It's hard even for the people who don't have those obligations now.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's touring smaller venues, which moves the whole ecosystem down, right? So like bands that were playing club dates, or bands that were playing theaters like the Black Keys, or arenas like the Black Keys are now playing theaters. Bands that were playing theaters are now playing, large clubs, and then on down and on down. And so like a band my size, like booking a tour is almost impossible financially, right?
Yeah.
Certainly to make money, unless I got in a van with, and we
Even then, these guys, Mojo Hand on this shirt, that the interview's released now to the people who are listening, but when we're recording this, it's not released. They're from New Jersey. They're originally New Jersey, now they're in Brooklyn, and they're touring around in a van. They're doing it that way. And I was asking him, like, well, what do you feel like you need to get paid just to survive, off a show? And he was like, well, to not be, just dying every evening on tour.
Yeah.
He's like, it's about $1,000,
show, yeah.
a show. And he was like, we played 125 shows last year. It's like, so you need to make $125,000 just to
break even most times.
Yes, just to break even.
Yeah.
And he's not trying to run around with a 10-piece act.
No.
This was a 4-piece band.
Yeah.
Bootstrapping it it was like, I think they're driving around in a 2003 Econoline. So it's not even like, it's not a new vehicle. It's something that's going to take maintenance.
Which I'm sure broke down several times.
Has to have, right? You at least had a flat tire and missed something because of that, missed a check. And you just think like, God, the economics got to be there, because it wasn't like they knew something we didn't back in the day. Like, it was still hard, but you had these bands who could get through and do it. And I hate to blame it all on Ticketmaster, Live Nation, but that feels like a huge part of it.
It's a huge part. I mean, between that and COVID,
yeah,
that made things really difficult.
Yeah, but I mean, we're so far past COVID now. I know it doesn't feel like it in a lot of ways.
It doesn't
but
feel
it's like
like
we
it,
got to
but
be able to get out of this rut somehow. Because what we started about the music scene in Dallas feeling like it almost went away completely, and now we don't really know what it's like.
I think what happened is people stayed home, and then they got used to staying home. And so there was a time right after things kind of started opening back up where people were like gangbusters going out to shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But then like, I don't know, the staying home is kind of nice.
Well, what do you feel like gets people out for your shows or doesn't get them out?
I haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
If anybody has, I hope they'll let me know.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's not enough anymore to promote things.
it's
Promoting
harder,
helps, but
and it's harder to promote
Yeah.
things. Like I know bunches of people that have talked about it, but it used to be on Facebook. I could put it out there. Hey, I've got a show coming up, and it would go to all of my friends and followers. And now the algorithm, the way it is, it may get seen by 5, 10, maybe 20, 30 people, maybe. And out of those, if I can get 1 or 2 to come, I'm doing good. Right. So like.
Yeah, because they want you to buy an ad for your show. And even with that, your friends still don't see it. It's getting sent to, I mean, even if you try to market it to the right, you set up the ad campaign with all these, demographics, blah, blah, blah. It's like your friends still may not see it. I
still may not see it.
I text some of my friends. I'm like, dude, what's going on with you? I haven't seen any of your show. Like, I don't see any of your stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It's just buried. And I don't have time to scroll through each friend and find them, And, it just feels nuts. You want to like burn the system and start over, but I don't even know what that entails anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be a way. I mean, there's got to be a way to figure it out. And I think over the next 5 to 10 years, social media will kind of start to collapse a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think there will be something to come up that kind of replaces it. I don't know what it'll be.
I think it's going to die with our generation.
I think
like
so.
Millennials specifically, we're the ones who kind of started with it. We got hooked on it, and I think generations after us are going to be like, "That looks so stupid. I don't want to get involved with that at all."
and I think like if you like, we didn't grow up with it, obviously, right?
No.
So I think if you grew up with it from like my kids, our kids, like it'll be it's ubiquitous, right? It's everywhere, right? So I think at a certain point they're going to be like, I don't know, this is not fun anymore.
I mean, it's pretty lame, especially like
so lame.
On our end. How many people do we see that are trying to achieve something like an artistic thing, a business, whatever? So, it's the constant promotion. It's the constant trying to get things out there, which all feels like a grind to both the poster and the viewer.
Right.
And we saw it in its infancy where it was just fun.
Yeah.
And, and it's like, man, they've really lost a lot of the fun. I mean, you get some really funny people out there still doing really hilarious, interesting things.
Sure, yeah.
But you do know that all of it is still kind of like, but they definitely want to get paid for this.
Yeah.
They definitely want to get enough followers. There's very few just genuinely like, oh, that was fun to watch. And there was no ulterior motive at all about it. And I don't know. It's like, are we so far gone that that's never going to come back?
I don't know. I hope not. I mean, I think what it is going to take is you're going to see bands like doing it the old-fashioned way of just getting in a van and slogging it out and building a grassroots following. I mean, that's almost how you'd kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
These days.
That's tricky, man. Especially because again, like when you released your first EP, and like back when I was in bands, it's like we had the luxury of selling CDs still.
Yeah.
We had the luxury, like we could really make some money off that.
Yeah, you could.
You could really survive. It's like it didn't matter that the venue didn't pay you a lot. It's like, we can make a couple $100 off this tonight.
CDs. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's completely gone. You can sell vinyls, but the margins are slimmer, right?
They are.
And then T-shirts, you can make some money off that, but not everybody wants a shirt the way they wanted a CD back in the day. And then God, I see all these people trying to push stickers, and it's like, man, stickers are so hard because I don't think people want to put stickers on things really anymore.
They don't. I mean, margins are really good for stickers because they're so cheap. That's why people do it.
But we had cars where you would have your windows covered in stickers, and you just don't see that anymore.
No, yeah,
it's just not a thing. We're all too cool for to be that type of individual, Yeah,
we're not sticking them to our Trapper Keeper anymore.
Yeah, all the cars are gray or some shade of gray. We don't have any more yellow cars. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting. I hate to think like, we're just getting older and we don't get it. But it's like, I don't think so. I don't think anybody gets it right now. It feels like it's just swirling around.
That said, there are a ton of just young bands that are killer. They're just killer, and they're doing great stuff. And I've got to believe that, people will want that human kind of connection, seeing a band live. The younger generations, I hope we'll start to crave that again.
Yeah. Are you taking your kids to concerts yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What age were they when you took them to a show? Because I have a 6-year-old, and I'm wondering, like, when do we dive into this?
I mean, we've done. They've come to our shows a ton, so they've been in and around shows since they were, in utero. Actually.
Yeah, but that's different.
It is different. So
it's mom and dad.
So my wife took our daughter. She was probably 7.
Okay.
She took her to an Alicia Keys concert at Toyota.
Okay. That's a huge show.
Yeah, it was a really big show, and she had a blast. She took her to Casey Musgraves.
Ooh, I bet that was a great show.
Because
she's time. She has like the full-on set design and everything going on.
And then somehow they had like nosebleed seats, and somehow they got picked out, and they took them down to the floor.
That's awesome.
And it was the night she had Leon Bridges come out for a couple songs. And so they were like 20, 30 feet.
Yeah. That's a great show. That's probably a highlight of her concert history then.
Yeah, it will
be. Yeah.
It will be.
Okay, that made me think of, you're talking about Leon Bridges, and then earlier we were talking about kind of I feel like, I guess it would have been maybe like 2010, 15 era. There was like a big pop going on around here. Lots of people doing lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of bands, lots of, like show bookers, producers. There were your publications, like you said, Dallas Observer was more than what it is now. You had Central Track cooking hot. They had their little buzz meter that people would check out, like who's doing something.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and it really was like it was something that you felt was reliable. You're like, okay, they're doing things. Let's go check out that show. And it felt like things were really moving. And my thought process is that, okay, well, you said Dallas Observer fired a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you need those people to write little blurbs, articles, whatever. It's very important to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Central Track, that was run by Pete Friedman. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there, again, another person. It's like, okay, you got to have this person who cares about the arts.
Yeah.
I produced a vinyl for Brave Little Hal.
Yeah.
Right? I was reaching out to these people. This was 2019.
Okay.
I was reaching out to these people pre-COVID.
Yeah.
We recorded it 2019, and I think we released it during COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I was reaching out like Observer, all these people, like we're looking for any kind of press we can get on this, and I don't know the people. So I'm just trying to find editors, writers,
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember reaching out to D Magazine. They had a music section. They had a music editor. And the editor at that time, I said, hey, it's a vinyl exclusive. We're not releasing it digitally.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is mail you a vinyl. If you vibe with it and want to write something about it, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If you don't, whatever. Pass the vinyl along, use it a coaster. Like, do whatever you got to do. We want to mail you one.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, that sounds great, but I don't even have a record player. It's like,
okay.
you're the music editor.
And you don't have a record player. Yeah.
Who hired you?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have I'm not saying everyone should have one, but you're a music editor.
Right.
You should have record player, cassette player. You should have cool shit that I've never heard of. You should have some laser disc thing or something. Like, you're the person who should be like, oh, records, that's great. I can listen to that. But what you really need to do is put it on this super niche like thing that I've never heard of. Like, you're the person.
You should be the guy. Well, many
and it was really defeating of like, wow, like, that's super. It forever changed and that's probably a different editor than what is there now. But at the time, I was like, man, y'all's music department for your writing, it's like, that's so crappy. It's like, how many great things in Dallas are not being written about because you've got a crappy person there who doesn't love it. What
happens is they get folded into the arts and culture scene. So you have somebody who's really just an arts and culture editor, and they also happen to cover music, right? So, but that's too big of a thing for one editor to realistically cover in an entire metroplex, right?
I agree with you, but I will say, if you are an arts and culture writer, whatever, you still need a vinyl record player.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Yeah, I'll give you that for sure.
You're the type of person I would expect to have one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, and like I never got in touch with anybody from the Observer necessarily, because I think what they do is they just have writers who pitch them stuff all the time. They have a lot of freelancers,
right?
Yeah. So I did find like a freelancer, and they hooked it up, and we had some stuff like that. But what ended up being a more interesting route was, sign of the times. It's like I found people who just loved vinyl on Instagram and would show off their vinyls.
There were influencers?
Just random influencers. And I was like, hey, I'd love to mail you a record if you dig it. And they were like, absolutely, love to listen to it. Here's my address. Please send it. Yeah. And then they were true to their word. They were like, hey, we've got this from Texas. And it's like, as much as I want to hate an influencer, this one's doing the job better.
Yeah, they're actually influencing.
Yeah. And I don't know. But I feel like there is a drought right now of those people who just do it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I love going to shows and writing about new bands I see, or I love, this, that. And I'm wondering what the next wave of those people is going to be. I
don't know. I see a lot of them on, Substack. I see some of that coming,
here locally?
Not locally so much, but I see it on a national level. You'll see in the way that Pitchfork was kind of an underground way, there are people like that on Substack that are reviewing albums. But I mean, eventually Substack will turn into just another social media site. But
I'm wondering about the people locally.
But the people locally, I don't know.
Because you were part of that wave where there were movers and shakers who wanted to let you know what was happening.
Yeah.
And they wanted to put on shows. They wanted to have a good time and help. They really felt like they could help break someone. Like Leon Bridges, part of his breakout was people like that supporting him.
Absolutely.
And because of that, his earlier shows here getting a lot of attention.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Dallas Entertainment Awards?
Yeah, but I don't really understand like who puts it on, what, how like nominations and things like that go.
I have my feelings about it, but one thing I will say about
I don't know if I like it or not is where I'm at.
I'm kind of with you, but what I do like about it is that it is creating a cohesion of a scene like we used to have when Central Track and Observer and were kind of doing their thing a little more.
Yeah.
And I do like that about it.
I think that's good. You're doing exactly what I said I want people to do.
Yeah.
Right. So from that aspect, I enjoy it. What always makes me cautious with that is I wonder, which again, it sounds like a real shitty, bitchy thing I'm about to say. Like, okay, we'll go make a better one. Kind of like we were talking earlier. Like I'm criticizing you, but I'm not doing anything. But point being, you always wonder like how incestuous does that get? Are you finding are you going out looking for new things and outliers, or are you in a circle giving each other pats on the back? And I don't know. I've never.
My
know.
issue with it is I am generally wary of any sort of award thing that is fan generated.
Okay, so that's how they do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's generally fan generated. So if I can,
So this is one of those like you're going to nominate yourself and get your fans to vote and yeah. So
again, I appreciate. I love that they're creating excitement around a scene. I love that. Desi
Yeah.
5 is a really, really great singer, songwriter here in town. Is the one who's kind of spearheading it. It was his idea. He's doing it's. They're doing good things.
Yeah.
But like I said, and maybe this is just me being jealous because I don't have many fans. But if I can get beat out by somebody who can get their mom's Sunday school class to vote for them 10 times a day,
yeah.
like that doesn't mean much. That doesn't mean a whole lot to me.
And it's already a weird thing to get an award for an artistic thing, like a competition, because everything is so
sure.
subjective. It's already
For sure.
kind of strange.
Yeah.
And I know that that's difficult. Like, well, how are you going to give an award? You know, and I think that's always kind of what bothered me about any of that kind of stuff. There's got to be a way. And again, I don't think it should stop. I think it's good.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, I think it's a layer that is important and needs to be in the ecosystem here locally.
It does.
And please do your thing.
And we haven't had it for so
Yeah.
long.
Please keep doing it. I'm not shitting on it saying like they suck and they should.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just,
yeah.
I am just more about maybe showcases where it's like, here are, 5 new bands
Yeah.
or things that I love. And we're doing this twice a year show where we pick the bands you've never heard of, but they're going to be incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I love those people who curate stuff to showcase you
Yeah.
that you might not have heard of. And like, they're taking a chance, you're taking a chance, but you believe like they've got a good track record. If
Yeah.
they put Chris J. Norwood on this, it's probably solid.
I think Dallas Entertainment, I think they'll get there.
That'd be cool.
They're doing some of that stuff, which is
Yeah.
so great. And I think they'll develop that track record and that kind of, people will be able to rely on.
If they do that, I'm all about it, you
Yeah.
know, because, and again, no hate. I've produced a few things, a couple of
Yeah, yeah.
things, and it's all difficult.
Yeah.
So even putting on the Dallas Entertainment Awards has to be a big undertaking. It has to be difficult.
Huge, yeah.
So I'm not trying, I get like anybody, and I doubt they're making money on it.
No,
they're most likely losing
yeah,
money.
for sure. They're
So
doing it for the love of the scene.
if
which
you're
is
willing to
awesome.
lose money to get people's names out there, then who am I to crap on your award show?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so to me, it's like, okay, great, we got that one. How do we add like 3 more things in that lane and just get people really going? 'Cause
Yeah.
as well as I do, the scene is so vast and there's so many
Yeah.
artists that we never hear of that, even you regularly performing, it's like you come across bands where you're like, who are they?
Yeah.
Are they new? No, they're not new.
No,
How have I
yeah.
never heard of them?
Yeah.
And then my big fear is always just the amount of artists we have that are extremely talented that come, go, and no one ever hears of them.
Yeah.
You're just like, no. No. Like, I wish I could name the list of people that are like that, but I don't want to insult them, But how many bands
Yeah.
have you seen come and go where you're like, they had so much talent
They did, yeah.
and they're not here anymore?
I've been a part of a few of those bands.
Yeah, I mean,
Keeping a band together is tough, man.
yeah. Especially when
Tough.
you're spending money, traveling around, playing shows, and at least your wife is a performer, so she understands
helps.
more.
That helps.
But could you imagine if she wasn't, and they're like,
Oh,
"How
yeah.
much is the album going to cost?"
Well, I mean, those conversations are still tough. Like,
Yeah,
what? Like, our kid needs braces, and
Yeah.
you're spending money on what now? So, yeah.
oh yeah, we haven't even gotten into braces territory yet. I'm so scared.
Dude, man, it all adds up.
That's going to be the next one is dentist braces blues.
Yeah, man, it's coming for sure.
Well, and like getting back to insurance for a little bit, and just like being more, just all the adult things that come up that you just right when you get your feet planted.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, we got back on top of the hill, and boom, inevitably there's something else. And if you're an artistic person, it's like, man, when you thought it was going to be smooth sailing so you could finally start on your project,
Yeah.
things just come up,
That's why it takes today. When I say there's time and money and that
Yeah.
can drag things out. That's a big part of it. Life happens. You know what I mean? So like,
May I ask how much, not a vinyl, but just getting a record recorded like this nowadays, what is the ballpark range that it's costing people?
ballpark range. If you can do it for $10K,
God.
you're doing pretty good. to do it right. Like I could go
No,
in.
I want a quality record.
Yeah,
a
I could
quality
do it
record,
all.
Where if it took off,
A record like this.
Yeah.
No, like it depends on the genre. Like if
10K.
if I did like, bedroom singer-songwriter stuff, I could do that for substantially less.
Yeah, but the idea being, if this were to have a chance of catching, and then people were like, yeah, it's great. We just need you to have a better recording. It's like, oh.
Well, I could do a great recording with just me and acoustic. Right. So like it just depends on the type of song. But generally any sort of like, anything that's not like laptop music.
Yeah. 10 grand these days. That's so
I would
wild.
say so. But that's been the number for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that that's more or less. I would say that's been kind of about what it needs to be.
And at the same time.
But that's, again, so that's just to get the record done.
Yeah.
That's not.
I'm assuming that's not mastering.
It's not mastering. Yeah. Well, it would be mastering, but it's not, vinyl or CD duplication. It's not promotion.
Yeah.
It's not touring. It's not
artwork.
It's not. That's just to get it recorded and mixed and mastered.
The little fees that add up of just getting it digitally distributed on all the platforms and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
Buying hard drives to back it up on multiple times in case you lose things.
Yeah, all that stuff.
All the little things, man. And just like, it's so hard to climb that artist mountain these days, even though it's more accessible
tough,
than it's ever been.
It is and it isn't in a lot of ways, like I said, I can go in my room with an SM57 and my laptop and people do that and put out great records. So it just depends on the song. But if I want to put out a 10-piece funk and soul album, I can't do that by myself in my bedroom. I've got to go into a studio and I've got to pay musicians and I've got, all those things, and it adds up.
Remind me, is this on a label?
Nope. That one's
self-produced. Do you get the itch to shop it around to labels?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look for a label, what are you hoping they give you?
Money.
But I mean, like, what would you use the money for? Like, because I struggle to. I think labels are very important.
Yeah.
I like labels, but I struggle to see what they bring to the table a lot of times. Or what they would do for you that would elevate it for you.
It depends on the label, but a lot of it is just a small label. And because I was on State Fair Records for my first couple albums, and a lot of what that provided me was just legitimacy. It got doors opened for me that wouldn't have been had I self-produced it or self-put it out, right? So it was just the legitimacy of saying, hey, this is out on State Fair Records.
Yeah.
Right. So
doors like just better shows or what?
Better shows, better press, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And then just being curated with other artists that are,
like, and even in I got to play Americana Fest show that I wouldn't have most likely. So it gets you to things like that.
Yeah.
Now that's a local label like State Fair. Like, a larger label will be a lot of the same, but it'll just be on a bigger scale.
Well, when you were having those doors open, was it happening so fast that you weren't really thinking about next steps? Or were you thinking like, okay, since these doors are open, I want to do these things now? Or like, are you able to process all that? Or are you like kind of just going with the flow?
It's a lot of going with the flow. I mean, without a good team, and not that I didn't, everybody at State Fair is great, but without like a good management team or a good booking label team, booking agent, which I'm not at that step yet. That's kind of the next level that really kind of, where you can take advantage of a lot of those opportunities. But it's hard. But like, when I'm one guy, so right, like, so it's hard to take advantage of those opportunities.
So what would you want right now? Do you want the booking agent? Do you what do you feel like
that would be most helpful for an artist? For an artist my size is getting shows.
Because I mean, assuming the live show sounds as tight as the album, I mean, with your previous track record, I don't see why I wouldn't. Obviously, it seems like you're ready to go play on lots of different stages and put on good shows. So, at this stage, do you reach out to booking agents, or how do you try to find that even? Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of just cold
just
emailing.
sending emails.
Yeah, sending emails, and there's just a lot of it's a
that's brutal.
Business built on rejection.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a glutton for punishment, but you just keep doing it, and maybe maybe the next album will take off. That's always the hope. That's what you keep telling yourself. Maybe the next one will take off.
But I wonder what that means anymore. Take off. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that roadmap looks like for people. You know, like if a band came to me and I was like, you got to do XYZ, I don't know what XYZ is anymore. Whereas when I was in bands, I had a pretty good, like we made a lot of headway. We had good work ethic.
Yeah.
We had more work ethic than talent. And that's why we would go as far as we did.
Sure.
You know, whereas if we had better talent, better songs, better music, we probably would have went further with it. But we were selling lots of records. We were playing lots of shows. Like we were doing these things. And then when that band broke up and I came back on a more local level, playing with a local band with a good friend who was a singer who was like, he had the more talent.
Yeah.
But they did not see eye to eye on what I felt like work ethic was for that in terms of like promotion and getting out, like spreading
It's a lot, yeah.
And so that relationship went sour because we had an album release and I had pushed them really hard to set up the album release the way that I thought would work.
Right.
And it did work. But it was opposite of what they didn't like this stuff that felt, you know, spammy to them and going out with flyers and do it. And to me, that was always like, you got to hustle. Because this was when flyers still worked. You could give someone a paper flyer and they might actually come to your show.
For sure.
And we had like a great, you know, CD release with this album. We moved lots of records in like the first month, and then the relationship started to sour after that. Because my logic was like, okay, we have proof of concept that we perform. They will buy these. We need to go travel and do this.
Right.
And that was not the same opinion that they had. So it was the head start. But in my past experience, it was like, okay, if they're buying it, you go on the road and you sell it. And then when you sold it, now we come back, you know, this many months later or whatever, and we do another show to the new ones, and we're building.
Yeah.
Because the first band, it was working. The first band that, you know, we actually like took out on the road, it was working. We just ran into the pitfalls of where like the bass player like knocked a girl up, and the drummer got in some money issues, and the band falls apart. You know,
the lead singer got drunk and fell off the stage.
It was all the reasons that so many bands have broken up. We ran into some of those reasons. It fell apart, is what it is.
Yeah.
But for a band that didn't have the most talent, we were building fan bases across the country. By literally getting in a van, playing shows. At that time, we had CDs, so we were going to the Warped Tour, begging people to listen to our album, try to buy it, and it was working.
Yeah.
But because we had done that, we were then getting like offered shows in different parts of like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, of people. That album we had, it was very like it was talking about like border patrol issue or border issues, immigrant issues. This was back like post 9/11 when things were getting real heated.
Gotcha.
And
it's a good thing we've solved all those issues.
Right. It's totally a thing of the past, right? But the areas along the southern border were like really vibing with that album because it was like a punk rock band and it was like, so just because of that, they're like, hey, we want to set up a show with you guys. It's like the process was working.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what that process is now.
I think it's a lot of this. I think it's a lot of the same.
But I think it's harder for people to do that.
For sure, it's harder. Yeah.
Gas is more expensive. You can't sell as much product to cover everything. Venues are struggling more.
You just need a little bit more of everything.
Yeah.
Of the process, you know, and then all that is tough to get a handle on it. It all adds up. But like, I think the process is still the same. It takes that much more. Whatever that much more is, it just takes that much more. Have you ever?
I agree with you, but have you ever thought about it in a perfect scenario? Right, we find a label that's working well for you. We find a booking agent that's working well for you. Mm-hmm. You and the wife, we're going to go on the road.
Yeah,
and the kid situation got worked out somehow. Whatever that is. You know, what do you think the money would have to be for a year to like get out on the road for a year and give it like the solid try of pushing the album, pushing the band? You know, what do you think it takes these days in your situation?
In my situation, that kind of money,
10-piece band.
I mean,
we're taking them on the horns.
I mean, you're talking, I don't know, $100K maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think that's lasting you a year?
It's one tour run probably.
What's one tour run now?
A couple months.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about $300,000 to $500,000 to be on the road for a year.
Yeah, and nobody's going to put up that amount of money.
No label's going to front that. Yeah,
not on something that's not proven, right? Like,
but you can't prove it until you're out there, right?
And that's the catch-22, right? But like, you know,
how am I supposed to get a job that needs experience when I can't get experience?
That's exactly. But so labels, they're only going to put up money like that if you're already making money like that.
But if you're already making money like that, I don't need you.
Exactly.
You know, and
Right, yeah.
so then I wonder, like, do we just need eccentric label owners with disposable income to go? I'm taking a chance.
Yeah, they're out there.
Let's sign you and put you out there.
Yeah.
Let's go rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know who's taking chances like that. Do you think? Who's willing to lose $1 million over 2 years because I believe in this band? Maybe Jack White.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
I don't know. State Fair did that with Josh Walker, and it worked until he went his separate ways with them.
Is he no longer with them?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a good example. But even him, I love him. He's great. No, disrespect in any way. But he rose pretty high with them with State Fair.
Yeah.
But it even still feels like there's a ceiling there too.
There was, yeah.
Yeah, and so you wonder, it's like, man, they had a good, strong run, and then it still seems like it gets difficult again at another level,
Yeah.
you know? Because he's definitely not a household name, even though he's been on, what was this? Yeah, he was on Kimmel. He's been on national shows.
And Fallon.
Yeah, and he
too.
clearly sells tickets, and people love him, and he's great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember when that first album came out, that
Yeah.
song, what is it?
Canyon.
Yeah. And because I think he had done like a, what is that? So Far. I think he had done a So
That
Far
sounds right, yeah.
where he was playing Canyon. You're just like, whoo, because I knew he had played in Ottoman Turks, but I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
And so when he did a solo thing, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this dude had the pipes and had the songs, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know they parted ways.
Yeah, well, but a few albums back.
Oh, okay.
He's put out a few albums without them.
Yeah.
His first 3, after that, he went his separate ways.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry we couldn't solve music today.
Hey, if anybody out there listening has,
Yeah.
let me know.
But no, man, I've had a great time talking to you. Sorry,
This is so much
taking
fun.
up so much time.
I love it. This has been so much fun. And again, right, like it's a mile from my house. So
Yeah.
anytime you want me to come talk about myself, I will.
I mean, pretty much anytime you want to put out some music, we'll do it.
I love it. Yeah.
I apologize for not wanting to. Well, I don't want to talk about that, I guess. But you put out a wonderful cover.
Yeah.
I've just never been a cover person.
No worries.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I get that.
I don't know why. It had nothing to do with your cover.
Yeah.
But I don't know. How many things have you covered, by the way?
There's a cover on that song. There's an Otis Redding cover.
Which one's the Otis Redding cover?
Fa, fa, fa.
Oh, okay.
It's a little more obscure.
Well, you see how, obviously, I'm glad I wasn't talking about like, oh, I know Otis Redding and so deep into his catalog. Well, kudos to you, because usually what I struggle with covers, because I feel like it's so hard for people to make them sound original.
Yeah.
And who did you cover, by the way?
Spoon.
I've never been into Spoon.
Really? Oh, yeah.
That's like a chip in my. People lose respect for me when I say that.
And they're right to.
I'm
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love Spoon. Yeah.
I just never. What was it about that band that you got into? Like, what was the?
To me, Spoon is indie rock done the right way.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't dislike it. It just doesn't hit me.
I could see, like, they're very specific, and I could see them not being somebody's thing.
There's a couple people. I'm going to put myself out there, right?
Do it, yeah.
So, like, Spoon, I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah,
I don't know. Grateful Dead.
I could see that. I could see that with both of those bands.
Bruce Springsteen.
I don't know. I might have to fight you on Bruce. I've never been a Grateful Dead fan either.
Yeah.
Not that I don't get it or don't respect it or anything. It's just not my thing.
Then there's bands like Deftones.
Okay.
You're
really into Deftones?
No.
Okay.
I just don't understand the popularity. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And this is coming from someone who is into like Korn.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not even that it's the genre's too out there.
Yeah.
It just doesn't hit me for some reason.
People like what they like. Yeah.
I know, but you also you know how sometimes you see people there's so many people who love this. Why don't I love this?
I don't know.
You know?
I just, like I said, people like what they like. I
know.
I've never been the type to like shit on people's likes or dislikes. Like who you want to like.
Yeah. But usually you can find something where you think like, oh yeah, that band, like, they're okay, and that one song's pretty good.
Yeah.
But literally I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I can't name a Spoon song.
You can't?
No.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
No. I would.
So
I'd venture to guess that most people can't name a Spoon song.
Is it that obscure for other people too?
I don't know that it's that obscure.
I feel like they're a massively famous band.
They're a pretty big band, but Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about them.
What's a band like that for you that just doesn't hit and people love? Not a band where it's like it's so outside of your wheelhouse, but something that you should like. Because I should like that band. I like a lot of independent music that's around that.
I don't know. Maybe it's cliche to say, but I genuinely just like music. Now, there are bands that I'm not into.
Sure.
Like Grateful Dead, right?
Yeah.
Like I would enjoy putting on a Grateful Dead album and I'll listen to it and go, yeah, I love this. This is great. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go do that. Just for whatever reason, there's just not the band that comes to mind. So I've got a lot of bands like that.
Yeah.
Even like Rolling Stones, which I love the Rolling Stones, but when I'm sitting around listening to music, they're just not the first band or the first 20 bands that pops up.
But you do love Bruce Springsteen.
I do love Bruce Springsteen.
What about Bruce does it for you?
What is it about Bruce that does it for me? So Bruce is a special kind of musician. He's a phenomenal songwriter. He is a phenomenal guitar player, and he's a phenomenal performer.
Okay.
It's hard to find people that are great, truly great at all three of those things. Mm-hmm. There are lots of guys that are great at one or two, but to find guys that are great at all three is rare.
See, I always felt like maybe I just needed to grow up in the Northeast to get him or something. Like something just doesn't click. I don't know what it is.
I will say his songs aren't very like hooky. Like there's no like, and so
like I don't know the lyrics of the songs, but so much of it feels like, working in a factory town and down on my luck, and it's like
a lot of that,
and so it's like
a lot of that.
A part of me is like, I guess since I never worked in a factory. Like,
but here's the thing: neither did Bruce.
Okay, there you go.
Never once did he. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, so he's not authentic. No, I'm joking.
No, yeah, he's a
but
poser.
I do know that Bruce Springsteen fans are diehard.
Diehard.
Like he's going down as one of the greatest ever.
Yep.
How many people have bought that yellow blonde Telecaster?
Yep.
That he play. I mean, I get the iconography of it all.
You get the appeal of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not your thing.
Yeah, but it's like, you want to experience it.
Sure.
It's like, because when I find someone who's like, I don't like the Beatles, I'm like, well, you're just shut up. Come on.
That might be the only band that I will shit on somebody for not liking.
Yeah. Yeah. You're saying that just to be a contrarian. I'm not saying that to say like Bruce sucks. I'm saying like,
it's just not your thing.
I want to get it.
Sure.
I want to get it.
And that's okay.
You
don't have to get it.
It's like I was told to joke to a punchline and everyone's laughing. And I'm like, am I too stupid?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's okay. Not everything has to be for everybody.
Yeah. But maybe if I were to see him live, something would click. I feel that way about a lot of bands.
He is pretty special live.
But he's got the money to make great records that should capture that. But
yeah, but live is different.
You know who was almost ruined for me was cause joking around about Bruce not working in a factory and writing those songs. Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Love.
Yeah.
Love.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I just love the songs. Love all of it.
Great.
Have you ever heard the Folsom Prison Blues and the Crescent City Blues song?
Folsom Prison, yeah.
Okay.
Crescent City, I have not.
Look up Crescent City.
Okay.
Joe Tack from Cloudland Studio showed it to me.
Okay.
Tacky. Yeah, Joe Tacky. And it is like a word-for-word ripoff.
And okay. But that doesn't bother me.
I don't know why it bothers me. It feels like
Bob Dylan built his career over copying old folk melodies and changing the lyrics.
As much as I love Johnny Cash, something bothers me about the made-up storytelling songs. You know what I mean?
About him being in prison? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you got the whole, Man in Black, the whole thing, but you weren't the thing.
Yeah.
Even though, like, you embody that. I admit that you embody that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that, like, I love it and I love the songs and I'm singing them, you know. Except, I believe he was on cocaine for cocaine.
No, that was 100% him.
Yeah. And I don't know. Maybe I've just never really liked the fake storytelling songs. I don't know.
I don't like current day people that do that.
Yeah.
I give people like him a pass because they were originators doing it.
That's true. And I love Dolly Parton, and I'm sure she's done her fair share of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Her whole thing is a bit.
Yeah.
Right? Like she came out moved to Nashville as a bit, and she embraces that. But she's allowed to do that because she's an originator.
Yeah, and she's never tried to be a phony about being a phony, I guess.
Yo, she was upfront with it.
Did you ever listen to her? I think it's her original one. It's the original Dolly album. Let me look it up. It's got songs like "Dumb Blonde" on there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Let me look it up. Because it was like "Hello, I'm Dolly" is the album I'm thinking of. Came out in '67.
Yeah,
and thinking about her singing about like, you're just calling me a dumb blonde, and I'm not gonna like wash your back and clean your clothes and all this. In '67 is like
pretty revolutionary.
Whoa,
man.
yeah, and thinking about like we're talking about labels now, like taking a chance on bands. It's like somebody took a chance on that back then, knowing all these men who had the money and were like giving it to the women, were gonna hate it.
Yeah,
or maybe they would.
But
hate
that's
it.
part of her genius. Is she was banking on the fact that those men would just be staring at her breasts.
Yeah. God, smart woman.
She was, man. She is.
She is, yeah. I saw her in an interview where she was in France or something.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, what do you think about prostitution? They're like hitting her with this hot button thing, and she does the Dolly graceful, like, well, I mean,
tell a joke, yeah.
Who am I to judge? I've done bad things too, and I never know what anybody's going through, and it's like, after watching that interview, something about the way she said it. Other people have said those wise words. It was nothing. But I catch myself so many times a year being like, how would Dolly have handled this? Like I need to be more like Dolly.
Yeah.
Less judgmental, more understanding.
She handles those hot button issues with a lot of grace in ways that like, because nobody really knows where she stands politically. Everybody thinks they know.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah, she's a feminist, or yeah, she's this or that. But I don't think anybody knows. I don't know. She's one of one in that respect.
Yeah, and I think she really believes, like, my opinion's mine, yours is yours.
Yeah.
Do your thing, God, she's mentoring Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
How polarizing is that for some people to, but, and then you think like, well, why shouldn't you be mentoring people that need a little mentorship,
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, we went down a different thing. Appreciate your time, man.
This was so much fun. I'm serious. Anytime.
When do you think the next record will be out?
So I'm working on another single that'll come out in May, and then there'll be a couple more singles coming out, and then it may be a while before the next album comes out. If anybody wants to pay for an album, let me know, and I'll happily make an album for them.
In the meantime, is the vinyl for sale anywhere?
The vinyl is for sale if you go to my website, or if you want to email me, or on Bandcamp. I think you can purchase it on Bandcamp.
All good choices. Or go to a show and buy one in person.
Come to a show. That would be even better.
Right.
Buy a ticket to a show.
Well, perfect, man. When the shows come up, let me know. I'll help promote them as best I can.
Absolutely.
And we'll get it all out there. But, dude, thank you so much.
Thank you, Travis. This was so much fun.
The I'm a Fan of podcast, music, comedy, and more.